What a finish! What a man! The drum roll finishes, and the target is amazing.
And it comes on finals night, and it's a knockout.
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
Hello, welcome along to the MODUS Super Series, where we've got a dramatic Friday night's worth of action for you here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where Lee Cox has got it all to do. 4 points behind the top three, who are all on 6 points going into today's action. We're going to be watching it all in the company of the asset Paul Nicholson. It's the final night's worth of qualification this week, and so far we've seen quite a dramatic time of it. Conan Whitehead winning through quite late on in Group A, and then earlier on today, Sasha Maszek making it through quite late in Group C.
Yeah, it does bode well for tonight, doesn't it? It's going to have to be an incredible effort from the bottom two to get back into proceedings. It's going to have to be in the first couple of games that they play tonight, but this week has not disappointed. Winning Group A on 18 points for Conan Whitehead was a bit of a roller coaster, with two people on that same tally in Lee Cox and Ronan McDonagh. But they've been separated by 6 points over the course of the first night of Group B. But this afternoon was extraordinary at times. We had no idea with 3 rounds to go who was going to go through, and Sam Spivey was doing a fantastic job of keeping that top spot.
So that is how the tournament bracket breaks down. Tonight we're going to see the end of Group B. Yesterday was a dramatic evening here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, and this was what went down. To get the breaker through, he needs one at some point in this match. Is he going to get it here? Oh, he does brilliantly.
Third leg.
Morson might have one more chance. But here's a match shot at tops, which he takes.
And the match.
But he's looking for a little one here. Double 5. Beautiful from the bomber. It's his third ton plus checker of the night.
Tops. Yes, Gary on the board with a 2-dart ton topper.
So this is how the land lies going into Friday's action. Carl Sneyd, Charlie Large and Ronan McDonagh all on 6 points respectively following the first day's play. Lee Cox with just a solitary win to his name. Gary Morson was winless on Thursday night. Let's talk about Carl Sneyd first and foremost, because for the first time here, he had a bit of pressure on his shoulders going into a Super Series week because of what he did on the Challenge Tour. He's going to be playing on the Pro Tour as well on Monday morning, but it looked like he dealt with that quite well.
I think the stride that he had, the conviction on the dartboard, he looked great. Best I've seen him play here. And there's still more to find, but the moments were there. In order to have pressure on yourself, you must have done something right, which you've mentioned. But when you come back and you have that pressure on you, you need to show us what you're all about. And Carl, who has had difficult times here previously, but has really found great experience over the last couple of years, we're starting to see what he can really do, and it's great to watch.
Charlie Large got a late call-up to play in this event, but you would have thought the way he's ticked over on night one that he was prepared for this week's in advance.
Pound for pound, he impressed me the most. I was really impressed with the way that Charlie played last night. He had a great deal of confidence, started fabulously, and showed everybody in this group that he's not just a substitute off the bench. He's someone who can genuinely contend this week.
The other player on 6 points is Ronan McDonagh, the Irishman, one of 3 players on that mark, and he is in action in our first match of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. He takes on Gary Morson, the American, early on this evening. I caught up with Ronan to talk about his week so far and his journey within the sport. Ronan, 5th day of your first week here at the MODUS Super Series. How have you found the experience so far?
Yeah, the lads helped me a lot now during the week. What else could I say? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. A dream come true, I suppose.
In terms of the way that you have played, how have you found the levels you've got to?
To be honest, I'm not happy. I know what I can do, and I know I will do it at some stage. Like I'm hitting low 80s, high 80s, low 80s, but I have a lot more in the tank, and anyone can tell you that. Like, that's how I got here. So hopefully I can just up it a small bit more tonight now and go over the line till tomorrow night, hopefully.
In terms of your darting story, where did it begin and how has it got you to this point?
Well, to be honest, I started throwing darts at the very start because of my granddad, and he passed away. So I said I keep it going for him. And then I went through the horrors of dartitis for 7 years. I'm back, I think, since March. Won the Be All Ireland singles, and I kicked off from there. And I'm happy where my game is at, but have to show it here, and I'll be happy going home. Like, I'm proud of myself either way. So, you know, I hope everyone's proud of home, and that's all that matters.
Does this give you a taste for a bit more?
Oh, I can't wait. I'll be back. I'll be back. And I'll get up there and do the job tonight first, and hopefully I'll be back soon enough.
We wish you all the best, Ronan. Good luck.
Thank you very much, pal.
Well, he's a very confident young man who's had quite the backstory so far. Ronan McDonagh of the Republic of Ireland. He takes on Gary Morson in the first game of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Considering he's just 23 years of age, Ronan has most definitely had quite the journey, suffering with dartitis as a youngster, working his way through that, coming back into the sport over the last 12 months or so. Up against Gary Morson, the 61-year-old from Fort Myers in Florida. His first appearance here, but the maul has been about for a number of years. 6 appearances in the World Match Play, 7 appearances at the World Championships. He is as experienced as campaigners come here at the Super Series. Owen Binks is your referee. He's been on planes, trains and automobiles over the last 24 hours or so.
It's Ronan to throw first. Game on.
He's got the great Inquisition and the man who'll make the final decisions this evening. And I'm sure that his decision-making will be far more clear of thought in comparison to what he ordered in the Italian restaurant we went to earlier on this evening.
100.
I don't really know what to say to that. But what I will say is that you're absolutely right about Ronan. This young man's got a lot of confidence.
31.
And isn't it great to see somebody coming back from dartitis and still playing with such joy? I like his starting story.
24.
But he came across as super confident with those words, and that's what he's going to need tonight.
180.
And as far as that's concerned, that's immediacy. Off to a flyer, leaving Bull after 9.
Well, we know Chris Mason has hit this for a 10 darter in the past. And he's got so much time and space. And he likes to show off that he's going to split.
10.
We've seen players do that in the past, but Ronan is a player more of the pragmatic play than perhaps the flashy showbiz shots.
95. Ronan,
He's got plenty of time at tops to take a 1-0 lead.
Game shot on the first leg.
Yeah, that's a great
Ronan
start.
McDonagh.
You've got to understand as well that having no points after night 1 for Gary and watching 3 players get 6 points, he knows the writing's on the wall. Even if you win all 4, the other 3 are going to get at least a win.
40.
Unless someone has a nightmare of a night. And Lee Cox only wins 1 game again. That's the only way through for Gary Morson. So let's just go through that one more time. This is what Gary needs to happen tonight. He needs to win this game and the other 3 to get to 8 points. He needs 2 people from the top 3 to pretty much win every game they play, apart from against
91.
him. And then someone from the top 3 is going to have to lose all their games tonight. That's a lot to ask.
Gary Morson yesterday got better as the evening went along. It was a very sluggish start to proceedings. Just one leg in his opening couple of matches. But as the finishing line approached, his numbers got better and he was given more opportunities. Missed 10 darts at a double, was on the receiving end of a couple of ton plus checkouts against Charlie Large. Lost this game by 4 legs to 2 yesterday. But Morson's going to get a chance here to level up at one apiece.
42. Gary require 58.
Single to double combination to get himself on the board for the night.
Wow. It's the bull.
10.
If he'd hit that bullseye, that would have been the
180.
strangest 58 check I'd have seen in ages. At least he's coming back.
78. Gary require
Well, he had 58 in his previous turn. He's had one dart at the bullseye, and he's going to have to spurn another dart here. Double 16 to square up. Doesn't go, and so McDonagh has an opportunity to open up a 2-0 lead. If he can pin tops, it's been a below par leg for the Irishman,
Game's
but
on
he's
the
managed to
second
double
leg.
his advantage.
Ronan
2-0.
McDonagh. Third leg, it's Ronan to throw first. Game on.
There's been a massive difference between what Ronan did in the first 3 days and tonight and last night. Not only has he started much better, which we touched on last night,
42.
but his double top shooting has been night and day, no pun intended. So much sharper in the evening. He is so close
46.
to making Saturday on debut. And he'll be very grateful, providing he does make Saturday, that the finals are in the evening of Saturday, not the morning.
121.
Well, Ronan's a player that has set very high standards of himself, and I feel like as the week's gone along, we're setting higher standards of him as well.
We have to.
38.
We judge him by what he does. He had 18 points in Group A. Just like Lee Cox, just like Conan Whitehead.
100.
He amassed the same amount of wins, 9 from 15. And he's on the same amount of points as 2 other people in this group again.
135.
So as far as week 3 is concerned, he is very competitive.
And after a little bit of a stutter in the previous leg, he's
134.
just beginning to brush aside Gary Morson here with considerable ease, leaving himself 104 after 12. We saw this yesterday from Gary. The first game was a little bit slow for him, but got better as the
81.
night progressed.
Ronan require
The problem, if he stood
104.
any chance of going through, he had to probably win the lot. And it looks like from here, McDonagh's got 6 starts, a 3-0 lead, but he only needs the 3. The 104 goes,
Ronan McDonagh.
and that is the first wheel flash point of the night, and the first wheel celebration
Gary
from
to throw
Ronan McDonagh.
first. Game on.
And this is fast turning into his best performance of the week. He is ticking a lot of boxes in this performance.
125.
Great doubling. Very consistent scoring. Few mistakes.
57.
Honestly, tonight could really turn into the top 3 just saying, we're all going through.
100.
Where will we finish? That's the risk.
Particularly if Sneyd beats Cox in game
44.
2, then Lee is a long way back and there's not a lot of wiggle room for him.
Then Charlie Large is under pressure against Morson. If Gary loses his first 2 games and Lee Cox loses that
59.
second match, we could be staring at 3 players pretty much through already.
Which means you'd be able to book your tickets early.
60.
But this leg isn't quite as easy a passage for Ronan as perhaps the last couple were. Gary Morson has got 6 starts here to at least get something on the board, given something to build on for the night.
85.
Great find with the last start, and he leaves himself on the champagne finish.
60. Gary require 132.
Doesn't have to go for the bull either. That's okay.
78.
So Morson's left himself on 54 to at least make an imprint in this
140.
game.
Gary require 54.
It's going to be double top. May need to hit the double 10.
Game shot.
Very well done,
fourth
Gary.
leg. Gary Morson.
What he'll be looking for now is Ronan to do what he's done in that leg 3 more times. And for Gary to just be a little bit more efficient. But it was never going to be that simple.
180.
Averaging here, McDonagh, just a shade under 99. This is a really good performance out the bat. He's really setting the impetus for the night.
85.
Setting his stall out right from the very get-go. I tell you what, you saw the little grimace after dart 1. He's a confident young man.
44.
And I think whenever he hits a maximum of his first visit, I think there's only one expectation in the back of his mind. That is to hit the perfect leg.
If that's the case, I wonder if he's had a word with our friend Conor Heenahan.
140.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a communication before this week saying, do you know what I've done there? I've won a week there. I've been to a Champions Night. I've had a couple of 9 darters. Follow that.
And Conor has got that similar cheeky, chappy-like nature where he does like to tell people about his own achievements in a jovial way.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
137.
This is for the double over Gary. Wow.
40.
That is not the first time that's happened this week. I'm counting that at least 4 times.
Just makes this leg a little bit more interesting as well. If Gary can pile in something... He's going to leave himself on a 2-darter here. If he leave himself something handy like that, this leg may be open for a little bit more interpretation than perhaps we once thought. Because McDonagh needs to chase with dart 2. He can't do so. May just be a dart at the bullseye. But Morson is going to get an opportunity to extend this match.
That was interesting. He had 77 left and went for treble 17. Oh, Gary.
41. Ronan requires.
Doesn't get a shot, so Ronan can win the match now.
To move himself on 8 points, to get the first win of the night, and to put himself on the cusp of qualification. Well, that's the first time we have seen a real nervy dart from Ronan, perhaps all week. He's not been one that's flustered in the face of doing something, but he has done there. Morson returning for tops to extend this game, to return it to throw, to make it 3-2. Double 10. 1 left, double 5. This time he does fine. Morson breaks back. The game returns to throw. And Ronan McDonagh, who has had a couple of opportunities now to win this match, is forced to go back all the way to 501 again.
One of the best things about this sport is that there are no guarantees.
42.
You can be streets ahead of your opponent, but if you don't find that final product,
60.
you can still lose. We've seen people with 2-0 leads today, 3-1 leads today. At times this week, we've seen someone 3-0 up and lose 4-3. That's what makes this format work. It's short course multiple times. You can be 3-0 up and cruising, and then all of a sudden things change.
85.
There is jeopardy behind every single turn in this truncated format of best of 7. Even when you play best of 11, yes, it's a short course race, but
48.
you still got the opportunity to have some sizable ebbs and flows. You don't get that opening in best of 7 darts.
82.
But what looked like once was so comfortable for Ronan is just becoming a little bit more hard work for him now. And Gary Morson, to his credit, he stayed around his level. And because Ronan's just come off it a few points, he's just beginning to get a bit more joy here. And on throw has left himself in an okay position, but punishable.
140.
And I think the best word to use for that 140 is forceful. Gary is clinging on
98.
for dear life.
34.
If he can take this to a last leg decider, who knows?
And he's going to get his opportunity to do so.
94. Gary require 100.
And he's going to have to take out the 109 because McDonagh is sat on tops to win this game 4-2.
He's not going to better his best finish of last night, which was 100 in 2 darts.
39.
And now has to dodge
Ronan
more
McDonagh,
matched
40.
shots if he stands a chance.
This for 8 points. And this to put himself on the brink. It would have mathematically put Ronan McDonagh there, but it puts himself so close to finals night tomorrow.
McDonagh.
You can see the relief etched on his face. He knows how big a victory in match 1 was tonight, and he has got exactly that. He's given himself a real buffer now. He's 6 points clear. He's not completely through yet, but you would say that it's harder for him not to qualify now than it is to. McDonagh 4, Morson 2. A good performance out the gate. Coming up after the break is Carl Sneyd up against Lee Cox. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your newest Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler! Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where before the break, Ronan McDonagh got the better of Gary Morson by 4 legs to 2. Average in excess of 90, couple of 180s, 50% on his doubles. Game 2 sees Carl Sneyd and Lee Cox go toe-to-toe here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. For Lee, just the 1 win from his 4 games on the opening day's worth of action. Whilst for Carl, well, this experience here at the Super Series is different to those in the past. Having won a challenge tour title a couple of weeks ago, his expectations have been set far higher. And the 37-year-old from Oldham has most definitely lived up to them, picking up 6 points, amassing 3 wins yesterday. Up against him, the 41-year-old from Crawley, twice a weekly finalist, but having just missed out on glory in Group A, the Thursday night session, well, seemed like a drag over the seeming disappointments that he had on Wednesday. He's going to need a big night here. Is Crafty Cox, see if he's going to make it into the Saturday night persuasion. Realistically, he's probably going to have to win all of his games. 3 is an absolute minimum if he is to make it through to finals night here. But it is Sneyd with the darts, and he's looking to join Ronan McDonagh on 8 points in the group.
I think the top 3, if they're surveying the table,
100.
they've got to place a giant target on Lee's back. Because Morson is out of the picture.
100.
If Sneyd can take Lee out and Ronan McDonagh can do the same in game 4, it's bye-bye birdie.
82.
But that really does depend also on Charlie Lodge beating Gary Morson next. So plenty to contend with over the next 3 matches, that's for sure.
100.
Last night looked difficult for Lee at times. He looked a little bit puffed out, a bit lethargic. And his one win,
96.
that was hard work against Gary Morson in game 5. You wouldn't blame him if the positivity
80.
had been sucked out of him over the course of the last couple of days. But whatever he's got left, leave it out there and see if it's any good.
99.
As for Carl Sneyd, he's just going about and applying his business in a similar way to that he did yesterday. Very quickly, he's gone from a player with potential to a player that is really beginning to set big
100.
expectations and
Require
playing at a level
124.
which is becoming really hard to beat. Looking at 1-2-4 to take the opening leg. He's not going to get a poke of the bullseye. That may well be where Lee
92,
Cox ends up. And
121.
he may have to take out this 1-2-1, otherwise he may lose this opening leg.
38. Carly require 32.
Yeah, slow start for Lee is non-negotiable. He can't have one.
Game shot on the first leg.
But Sneyd looks
Carl
so
Sneyd.
comfortable. His game has probably never felt better than it does right now.
Second leg is Lee to throw first. Game
But the
on.
numbers prove it. His victories prove it. He has never played better than he is right now.
97.
Yeah, he's reaching new heights average-wise, particularly on the Challenge Tour. But this place is just part of a week
100.
that could change his darting destiny.
Following this week, regardless of what happens tonight, he'll be
81.
heading up to Wigan on Sunday for the final set of UK Open qualifiers before he'll play in his first ever Pro Tour events on Monday and Tuesday in Players Championship 1 and 2. He got the
96.
last call-up of the 3 players that were eligible to get call-ups because of drop-offs. Carl will join Stefan Belmont and Bo Greaves in Players Championship
99.
action on Monday and Tuesday at the Robin Park Tennis Centre in Wigan.
Do you get the feeling Bo Greaves is going to get the stream board?
I think there's Death Taxes and Bo Greaves
138.
getting the streaming board. Bo Greaves streaming board 1, Luke Littler streaming board 2. I've just got a hunch.
100.
Could be Luke versus Bo.
Carly require 106.
Oh, that'd be fun. Guarantee you this, when he walks into
97.
A great
Lee
place to
require
play darts.
124.
he will look around and no matter where he looks, there will be world-class players. How's this bullseye for Lee?
91.
Short.
Carly requires 7.
Well, the issue Lee's got is so far his 2 opportunities have come at 1-2-4 and 1-2-1. Carl Sneyd is restricting opportunities.
30.
But he has got
Lee
a gilt
requires
edge chance
33.
here. He's been on the back foot on throw in leg 2, but he has a chance to level up at 1-1.
Got it surrounded.
Carl, you require 40.
And you can't leave this guy on tops. Well, apparently you can.
30. Lee,
Well, there's a
requires
fallibility there
16.
from Carl that perhaps at times last night we didn't see. He nods his head knowing that he's missed a big chance, and he's allowed Lee to come back for double eight to square this contest up. Sneyd should be
on the
too
second
clear,
leg.
but he's been pegged back
Lee
level, one
Cox.
apiece.
That was a bit of a
Gonna
gift
get
for Lee.
Carl to throw
Well
first.
unwrapped.
Game on.
I think he just needs something to happen. He looks a bit downtrodden on the stage.
100.
It's in moments and weeks like this where your self-esteem is tested.
79.
Because if darts is everything that gives you confidence in life, your self-esteem will be trampled if you've been through what Lee's been through the last 4
97.
days. But if you have a solid grounding away from darts, you can actually start again. Now, he does have that.
121.
Not everybody does. It's a solo sport, but for some people, it's a solo life.
94.
Darts is a very lonely sport sometimes.
And sometimes you need a bit of a nomadic approach to the game. Sometimes solitude is the best way to go about
97.
it. But it is a very much what cap fits who type approach. What may work for one may not work for another. But whatever Carl Sneyd's doing at this
100.
present moment in time definitely is working. Big fine with the last. Both players on similar size finishes. Sneyd with the first poke.
So Lee gets another chance.
54. Lee require 104.
It was 4 legs to 3 between these two in the early hours of Friday. And that was a game that
48.
just got away from
Carl,
Lee.
you require 56.
He can ill afford that to happen again.
And it's felt like he has spent the entirety
Game
of
on the
this match
third leg.
chasing. And he's
Carl
going to be
Sneyd.
chasing Carl Sneyd on the scoreline now. He trails by
Full
2
leg
legs
is
to
Lee
1.
to throw
There is a
first.
full
Game
focus in the eyes of Crafty Coxey, but he's going to have to get down to business very quickly from this point onwards.
Just to paint the picture of the early hours game that they
100.
had. 31 darts at a double between them and 7 hits. Don't need to be a mathematician to know that that is less than 1 in
41.
4.
$140.
It's not vintage from Sneyd so far. But you do get the feeling there's another gear.
140.
If he starts to find it, Lee's going to need more than a mid-80s average to stop him.
Well, Carl Sneyd prior to that visit was
41.
86 average, 33% on the doubles, which, when you consider what he's been doing recently, that is probably about par for the course now for him.
60.
But for the first time in this match, Lee Cox is in front in terms of the scoring phase of a leg. He's always been chasing Carl, but now he has an opportunity to set up a finish first.
100.
Yeah, and when it comes to getting through, there are certain likelihoods based on numbers that we have at hand and some intangibles.
140. Leave 120.
Can he get past that? Now Sneyd has a
60.
chance to
Carl,
widen
require
this advantage to
120.
2 on the same shot. This has got to be precise. And it almost was.
40.
Oh,
Leave
that's the
require
kind of dart you
60.
can't do. That's a mistake.
And it gives Lee the chance to level up. Tots for 2-2.
20.
Big
Carl,
opportunity
require
wasted, but maybe
80.
as wasteful was that last dart of Carl Sneyd, because he may only get 1 dart at the end of the combination. Okay, he's righted that particular wrong. He's going to get 2 at double 10.
60.
But he hasn't got himself out of jail just
Lee
yet.
require 40.
Double 10 for Lee.
Game
He had some
on the
problems down
foreplay.
there last night,
Lee Cox.
but not this time.
Fifth leg, it's Cole to throw first. Game on.
Lee has also got a leg difference problem as well. He's a good 9 legs behind Charlie Large, and he hasn't even played yet.
100.
Yeah, just one thing about Sneyd going for tops there on 80 with 1 dart.
41.
If he draws someone first round on Monday afternoon that has got a load of form, a load of experience, he does that
140.
against someone, they will gobble him up. That is the kind of mistake you can't make.
However, can I give you the counter argument to that?
135.
How many times do we see players play here actually play better than on the Pro Tour? Because sometimes when you play better opposition, because you know you have to play better, you actually get a better standard out of yourself.
45.
No, that's fair enough to say that, but I think you've got to get yourself into good habits. That's the kind of shot that you do. It's a bad habit. It can only cause trouble.
41.
There's only a short percentage that will give you the benefit of leaving tops of 3 darts. Just got to play the percentages and do the smart things.
140.
I've seen elite players do that before. I've seen Phil Taylor do it. I've seen Michael Van Gerwen do it.
140.
I've seen Van Gerwen do it in a world final.
76.
He was fortunate it didn't hurt him.
Game
And
shot
that
on the
hurts
fifth
Cox.
leg. Cole Sneyd.
That's a wonderful shot from Carl. He's
Sixth
one of
leg,
those
it's Lee
rare
to throw
birds as well
first. Game on.
that he's a lefty and he's very strong on double 8.
Well, you mentioned that at times it's been quite lacklustre for Carl Sneyd, just a little bit below par, but he's found a bit of quality when he needed it. Landlocked at 2-2,
140.
files in a 14 darter and suddenly puts Cox on the back foot. The lead kicks off on 40 in this leg.
59.
And Sneyd, with no trebles with his first turn, has allowed the man from Crawley just an opportunity to press home in this leg.
140.
Back-to-back 140s puts him in a real strong suit.
$99.
It's a real north versus south battle, this one. Red versus blue. It does have the makings of a bit of a rivalry maybe in the future.
What
a leg from Lee.
180.
Where's this stuff been the last couple of days?
Potential 11 darter here, and Carl Sneyd is nowhere to be seen. He's found himself
87,
offside
lead
in this leg, which is
41.
perhaps ironic considering he's a Manchester United fan. Tops for Cox. That would have been for a
31.
dozen darts, but because he's gone inside there, he's allowed himself 1 or 2 problems when he returns.
$140. Lee required 10.
Are we level? Oh, that was the risk, isn't it, with double 5? It's so
Oh,
pesky.
they require 160.
But Sneyd now looking at double top to finish it.
96. Lee required.
Lee was a long way in
2.
front in this leg, but look where he's found himself. He's in the madhouse. 1 up. 1 in.
Game shot on the
And we
sixth
go
leg.
the distance in this
Lee
second
Cox.
match of the night.
7
Big
from
leg for Carl
final leg,
Sneyd. If
it's
he wins
Cole to
this,
throw first.
then Lee
Game
Cox
on.
could be out the picture very quickly. But if Lee can find a break here in leg 7, then suddenly Carl Sneyd is brought back into the equation, and
97.
perhaps things will be open for interpretation in this Group B.
Yeah, I think Lee's done a good job of clinging on here. He's had more darts at double.
59.
He's got a lesser average by 8 points. But he's still there.
$60.
Just needs a ton to get back in this leg. I say just a ton. Under pressure like this, tons are hard.
$60.
And to no avail. So advantage Sneyd in this deciding leg.
$98.
Sneyd's got an advantage on throw. How can Lee whittle this away?
Ooh, game back on.
40.
Great one, 40. I've had 10 of those in this game from both players.
57.
Oh, he gets to the finish first as well. This is 50-50. Just like it was
59. Lee, you require
19 hours
142.
ago.
And I tell you what, those 3 darts there from Carl Sneyd looked and felt tight. But Lee Cox has got an opportunity to win here. He needs a big night. He needs some big wins. And he nearly won that one with a big
120.
checkout.
Can't we
Over to you,
require
Carl Sneyd,
130?
on the 130.
It's not going to happen. So what Lee does now, before he throws, is so important.
78. Lee required 22.
Now what he does with the darts in his hand is even more important.
Straight down the middle of the board.
No
But he's
score.
drifted further and further away, and his chances may drift further and further away of progressing through. He needed to win this first
Can't
match,
we
you feel.
require 52.
And he now has to rely on favours. He has to rely on Carl Sneyd to miss.
This feels like the same game they had at about 12:30 in the morning. So tense.
Sneyd won that one 4-3. But he's not going to win this
32.
one by that margin. Both players now have missed opportunities to win this match. Both players trying to compose themselves. Cox comes back for 22.
22.
Inside it goes.
No score.
Frustration with the last start. Carl Sneyd
Charlie
is literally
require
on his knees.
20.
But is he now going to have a hop, skip and a jump if he can find this double 10? Lee Cox can't believe it.
Game
Carl
shot
Sneyd is
and
the
the
most
match.
relieved man in the
Carl
building.
Sneyd.
That towards the end was very attritional, but Carl Sneyd has got the much needed 2 points. He moves on to 8. He leaves Lee Cox on 2, and very quickly we could know the lineup for Saturday night's final. Carl Sneyd beats Lee Cox by 4 legs to 3. We're going to take a short break. Upon our return, we're going to see Charlie Large for the first time tonight. He takes on Gary Morson.
For that to happen, he'd have to hit the 81. But how much pressure? Oh, we could have back-to-back 11 darters, Paul.
We could.
Paul.
130.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Tommy require 81.
Has to hit this by the looks of it. Double 12.
57.
Those 2 misses,
Darius require
added to the
55.
approach play of Labanauskas, mean that we could get our first hold of throw in the final. And that's what we get.
Gage on the 5th leg.
A
Darius
crushing 14
Labanauskas.
dart hold from Labanauskas.
6th leg, it's Tom to throw first.
Maybe the 2
Gabe.
biggest darts of this match were the darts at double 12 that missed.
Special final. Fitting
100
for a very special week. And it's far from over.
I'm only going to say this once. A matter of just a few weeks back,
100
Dutch dart player at the Grand Slam averaged record numbers and didn't win a match. In the semis and final tonight, Tom Sykes
100.
is averaging over 106.
Combined.
And he could lose this tournament.
Old vessel moment. That was
36.
as unlucky as that turn there.
$57.
That's not what he wanted.
Oh, he's given an outside chance. I think it's minimum ton. 140 would, or 137, a two treble visit was that's what he wanted. Well, he wanted a 180, but after dart 1, got to come down surely.
60.
Like that.
I don't mind it.
Two trebles in the same spot. Well, a 180 here would leave double 4, and he loves it.
140.
Advantage Labanauskas. Firmly. Because championship darts,
40.
they are sitting in his left hand right now. And with his right hand, he could now become the Series 9 champion.
Game, shot, and the match! And the Series 9 MODUS Super Series champion, Darius Labanauskas!
Darius's darting dream has come true. He's called Lucky D, but there was nothing lucky.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where before the break, Carl Sneyd got the better of Lee Cox in a last leg decider 4-3. Both players missing a couple of visits worth of opportunities to win that match, but it was Sneyd who held it together. And as far as Lee Cox is concerned, he may well be out the trapdoor in a couple of matches' time. Second match of the night for Gary Morson from Fort Myers in Florida. He lost 4-2 to Ronan McDonagh in the opening game of the evening session. Charlie Large, the only player we haven't seen so far tonight. He could join Ronan and Carl on 8 points respectively if he could win this opening match, and it would put him on the cusp of a second weekly final appearance. His previous one came all the way back in Series 6. 4 series ago. We're in Series 10 now, and he made the semi-finals on that particular occasion. It's been a bit of time between drinks for the man from Waterlooville, around about a 15-minute drive from the live lounge here in Portsmouth. And if he does make the finals tomorrow, he will have a posse of supporters that will make the trip down the M275 to watch him in action here at this grand old church.
I'll tell you what Charlie's wearing tonight looks like an old school
66.
football referee. Who would want to be one of those these days?
81.
I was really impressed with him last night. I thought he was fabulous. Loads of conviction with the way he was playing. Good doubling, heavy scoring, dominating opponents at times. Started his campaign with a 4-2 win over Lee Cox. They both averaged 89, but Large with 4 out of 8 on the doubles. That's what I mean by conviction.
100.
And that third dart is as well. That had some zip on it.
We used the word maturity, didn't we, to describe some of Charlie Large's performances last night. It's been a little while since we'd seen Charlie here. He is a regular fixture here at the Super Series, but it's felt like a little bit longer than usual since we've seen him last. And there's a feeling that whatever he's done since he's been away, that he really has worked on his game and really is beginning to progress. And as we mentioned, that word maturity, he's now age 20. He's been here for a while, and it looks like all those facets are beginning to come together nicely for him. That went together quite nicely there for Gary Morson.
Yeah, didn't it just?
94. Gary required.
Yeah, good switch there from Charlie. And Gary's problem over the last night and a bit, it's starting games hot. He needed that.
On the first leg. Gary Morson.
And I think his mission is very clear before the end of the night, because he will be the first person to finish his quarter of 8 games in Group B. Get a win. Simple as that.
Well, to win this game yesterday, Charlie had to come up large. Gary won more legs against Charlie than any other player. He got to 3 in that match. And it was a couple of big tub plus checkouts, the 111 and the 117, which helped Charlie Large en route to victory in that particular
45.
contest. As a matter of fact, if you have a look at the performances that he put in yesterday, his lowest average came against Gary towards the end of the night, but he managed to find a way
58.
to win that particular contest.
That's what it's all about, finding a way to win.
95.
Gary was talking to us about that yesterday. You don't necessarily have to be the best player in a match. You just got to find a way to a match shot and take it.
171.
Yeah, that'll crush your score most of the time. The only way a shot like that is bad is if you've actually got 171 left.
Charlie Ever 132.
$92. Absolutely
92.
right. Even if you like double 16 in that spot, you go for the 12 and you take the bust out of play.
So tops after 12. This summer post from Charlie Large after losing the first leg of the night.
140.
Morson,
Charlie
with that 140, does leave himself on a finish. Double 10. Does not see his level. Morson with an
Gary
outside
McCoy,
opportunity, but a chance
161.
nonetheless.
$44. Charlie require.
He's already had
20.
shots at double 10. And you mentioned that Charlie took 117 last night. Gary's not getting a look at it.
Charlie Large.
Well, it was a leg of a lot of promise
Third
there
leg,
for
it's Gary
Charlie
to
Large.
throw
He toiled
first.
towards the line
Game on.
eventually, but he won't care because he's level at one apiece. If Charlie is able to win this
140.
game, Ronan McDonagh could send not just one, not just two, but all three players through to tomorrow night's final. If he can get the
57.
better of Lee Cox in match 4 of the evening session, there is a possibility that we could be over very, very quickly in terms of finalising the qualification spots. We'd then be playing for positions 1, 2 and 3
96.
as the evening draws towards a close.
I think it's easy sometimes, Henry, to think that
58.
because the top 3 did all win 3 games last night, that they're going to do the same again. What we should have learned from this week is that things aren't as easy as they appear.
89.
Don't underestimate just how much Charlie wants to play here tomorrow night as
59.
well. You can want it too much. If he plays with the freedom that he did have last night, he will cruise through. But if he has constantly got swirling through his mind,
85.
I want to play here Saturday, I want to play here Saturday, I want to play in front of my family, he might get lost. Get up there and play.
95. Gary require 91.
Gary Morson is playing this game like an experienced pro. On throw, doing his damage, and he's looking at tops. He's got time on his side, but he only
Game
needs the
shot
one
in the
dart. That's a
third leg.
14 darter
Gary
for Gary
Morson.
Morson. Nice little combination. Sees the American 2-1 to the
Fullback is
good.
Charlie to throw first.
And playing,
Game on.
it has to be said, the best darts he has done all week so far.
Unquestionably.
140.
Next time Charlie's at the hockey, just look at that right shoulder, particularly on dart 3. He throws it really hard, and that right shoulder can sometimes lift.
45.
That dart comes out of his hand like a bazooka.
$180.
Marvel at that! It's so visually appealing when he gets it right.
On throw, these two are tearing absolute lumps out of one another. The problem Charlie Large has is at some point in this game he is going to have to find a break, but he'll cross that bridge when he gets there. But what a leg this is. And we said this yesterday about Charlie. That first dart is hitting so much better than perhaps it ever has done before.
$136. Charlie required 44.
We've just had a really good leg from Gary. This one could be better. And it is by 2 darts.
On the 4 flag. Charlie Large.
Quality contest this. What's it Chris Mason says?
First.
Sneaky good, and that is exactly what this game feels like.
Absolutely. Do you know if you want fish and chips in Ireland, do you know what you ask for? I'm being serious.
60.
I'll have a cod and a large. That's what they say. They don't mention the chips, they just mention the fish. And a large, it means a large bag of chips.
46.
So we need a dart player that is named after that certain type of fish, and we could have a cod and a large game.
Well, we've got a match between two players with similar last names, but we won't go there.
62.
2-2 in this meeting between Morson and Large. Game 3 of the evening session.
57.
We spoke with Gary yesterday talking about how he got into darts, and that will be part of our series of Tungsten Talks. I'm looking forward to that coming out. It was really nice to speak to him. He's talking about how his parents are British. His name, Morson, actually is of English and Scottish origin. He does have a lot of roots in the Isle of Man as well.
140.
Well, Gary Morson in this game so far has been strong and throw, but is this the moment where that strength begins to
95.
evaporate and he just allows Charlie Large an opportunity and an opening against the darts? He's taken it here and he's now looking to take full advantage. Is this another one of those trademark maxes? Yes, it is. On a pinhead.
And I'm going to start calling those bazookas, those 180s, because they're so destructive.
41. Charlie requires 78.
He is flicking a switch here.
You're not kidding. Double 12.
66.
He had a look in his eye there when he missed that double 6 as if to say, I'll get you next time. You're not getting away with that again.
Well, he's had an eye for double 6, hasn't he, over the course of this week?
125.
Who can forget that
Charlie
1-2-2 finish yesterday where it was trouble 20 balls, eye double 6. But it's just the 12 points he needs here to put himself 3-2 to the good. And to get the break of foe that at some point in this contest he would have needed. Large 3-2 up, and now as a consequence he has the darts to win this contest, to put himself on 8 points, and then there'll be a possibility in match 4 for this whole equation to be done and dusted.
Bazooka time.
180.
Wallop.
He has never scored this heavy in his career.
I'll tell you what, there's a gap to fill here in Portsmouth now that Adam Lipscomb is on the tour and he's not coming back for a while. Who's the new local hero? It might just be Charlie.
100.
We'll put the saxophone away for now as we praise the local hero.
I don't see anybody here with a blue hat on.
You might do tomorrow night on the blue South Coast City as Gary Morson hits his second max 5 in the game, all told.
Very impressive. This is the most destructive scoring game we've had over the last couple of days.
Gary Morson here is averaging in excess of 93s, decent on his doubles, and it looks like he's on the cusp of losing this game because Charlie Large has gone large. He's averaging 99, he's on for an 11 darter to win it, and this is to put him and a couple of other players on the hill. What a performance.
Jordan, the man.
And what a player this young man is
Charlie
warming up to be. He has shown some real maturity over the last couple of days, this Charlie Large. He's improving at a rate at which we've not seen before. And he has destroyed Gary Morson there, who himself averaged 92 and change, but hardly had a look in. He was playing on the back foot, a couple of holes of throw, but when it mattered, Charlie Large got what he needed. He got his break, he won the next leg, he wins 4-2. And so the situation here is cut and dry as this. Lee Cox loses to Ronan McDonagh. It is done and dusted. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler! Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, where everything could be said and done by the end of this game here at the MODUS Super Series. A 4-2 win for Charlie Large against Gary Morson before the break means that if Ronan McDonagh wins this match against Lee Cox, then we all know the three players that will head through be McDonagh, Sneyd and Large that will make it through to the showpiece finale. As for Lee Cox, well, his adventure would come to a shuddering halt here. And it would be another week here at the live lounge in Portsmouth where there was a lot of promise,
Game on.
but not an end execution. The man who supports Chelsea needs to make a few daggers now.
60.
Even at this stage, on the back of what you've already said, Henry,
100.
it's immensely unlikely. If you were to attribute a percentage of a chance for him to get through the situation,
81.
we're talking about a very small single number. Maybe the same type of chance that you would have in hitting a 161 checkout. Attempts out of 100, maybe about 3%. Because he's already 6 points behind with 3 games to go, and he's 10 legs behind in leg difference. If he was to make Saturday from this position, it would be the biggest comeback in Group B history.
The issue he's got is Ronan has decided that he's going to kick off with an air of, I want to get this job done now and do not want to mess around for the rest of the night.
121.
He's left himself a 1-2-1 after 9 against the throw.
Okay, Bull. That'll do.
Game shot.
That may just be
leg.
the jaggiest 11 you've ever seen. But the third dart was pretty good.
Second leg is Ronan to throw first. Game on.
Well. No, Lee Cox says.
That 11's got to make you laugh. He doesn't want the 11, he wants the 25, and he gets the smallest bit of it. And I mean the very smallest bit.
If you're Lee Cox, you know it's not your night when things like that transpire against you. I am sure when Ronan McDonagh heads back to the Republic of Ireland, whenever this week ends for him, I am sure that's going to be one of the checkouts that he will discuss with his friends.
41. $81.
He's probably forgotten about it already. He's too busy trying to get Lee off the radar. And his motivation will change if he does beat Lee for the second time
100.
in 2 days. And indeed, the 4th time in 5 days. Ronan has been a real thorn in the side of Lee. His motivation will be to win this group. Imagine what that would do for his confidence.
So McDonagh looking at 152 to lead 2-0, and it would put Lee halfway towards the exit door. He's not going to have another flashy finish to his name, but what he is going to do is leave himself in situ. 72 left. He's going to leave himself on double 18 if Cox cannot find the 160. Not to be. McDonagh, double 18 for 2-0, and to put him, Carl Sneyd, and Charlie Large halfway towards Saturday night.
Game shot.
He's not putting much of a foot wrong here. This is just really good stuff. 30 darts for 2 legs, and that expression tells you everything you need to know.
Game on.
I was thinking, which player does Ronan McDonagh remind me of? And it's just come to mind now. There's a lot about Harry Ward.
140.
Has a reminiscence for me with Ronan.
100.
The demeanour, the confidence, the way he goes about his business.
The height.
There is that. They don't call him Big H for nothing.
100.
Well, in that case, just call him Big Mac. Other burgers are available.
60.
He's been playing like a big player.
60.
That performance against Gary Morson in Game 1, very undervalued. Averaged over 90, 50% on doubles,
96.
had a ton plus checkout and 2 maximums. He checked a lot of boxes there. And this is better.
130.
He's left himself for the 2-darter.
60. He requires 71.
Well, it will give him a foothold in this contest. It will just give him something, but that's a stray to the treble 4. So 59 left, having scored 12. He's going to get a dart at tops and 3 more if he needed it, but he didn't. And so back we go to 2-1. But McDonagh has still got that break advantage in this match.
131.
It's not just about wins, though. That's the primary thing that Lee needs, just to stay in this. But even if he won 4-3, it's not really enough, is it? Because if you think about the leg difference of McDonagh, for instance, he's got the worst of the top three at +5.
82.
A 4-3 win would only inch 2 legs closer. And the way that Sneyd
60.
and Large are playing, can you really see them not winning another game?
45.
Just can't see it.
$81.
Was that the first sign of resignation there for Lee as McDonagh now looks to press over 2-leg advantage again in this match?
97.
If it was, can you blame him? He's going to feel like a human being that's been pushed through a sieve this week.
60. Ronan McDonagh 146.
He must think, how does this always happen? Why is it always me? And why is it always in this building that these things tend to happen?
80.
Darts is cruel.
If Lee ever does win a week here, there is going to be an outburst of emotion, the like of which I don't think we'll have ever seen from another player.
If he does win a week, he won a heck of a party.
166.
Because he's very, very popular.
Wire Bender,
30.
and that was further away.
He
And so
require 83.
Cox here, he's got a chance to level up at 2-2. Was 2-0 behind. 74 left, good options. Triple 14 is what he's looking at. Was not what he could get. And so McDonagh 3 more in hand to re-establish the 2-leg gap in this match.
Double 9 again.
Game
Obviously likes it over there.
Ronan McDonagh.
And the best that Lee can afford in this game is to win it 4-3, but he has to win the next 3 legs straight. And this is what we feared overnight, isn't it? That it would all be said and done before the halfway point, and even before
45.
Large and Sneyd play each other, which will see potentially a second player
100.
on double figures.
Well, Lee has to leave it all out here now.
60.
No going back. He's at the point of no return. But Ronan looks like the type of character when
100.
you give him a finishing line to find, he will try and stride across it.
Yeah, I tell you what he'll be like. Great Irish athlete Sonia O'Sullivan
55.
in the last 150. She was legendary for it. The final sprint, and would just go great
131.
guns for gold.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's a confident young
60.
man, and this would be a flashy way to seal it. Fish isn't going to go,
83.
but he's got plenty of time.
This is a very similar performance all of a sudden to what we saw in match 1. Again, the average is 90. The doubles percentage is very good. There's been another maximum.
60. Ronan, you require 87.
There's only one more thing to do. Finish the job. Rubber stamp your Saturday night on debut.
The way he's played, he's been deserving of his place into Saturday night's final. He's not going to get it done here,
47.
but he is, upon his return, going to get 3 darts at tops.
And providing he hits that tops, he'll have beaten Lee 4 days in a row.
Is that an act of darting
180.
defiance or
Ronan
something a bit
40.
more? Double top. Sees Ronan McDonagh on his debut
Ronan
appearance
McDonagh.
completes his quest to qualify for Saturday. A smile following the puff of the cheeks. That was so important to him. That means so much to him. He's a confident young man who wants to achieve big things, and he's just done a big thing there. He has beaten Lee Cox to send not just him, not just Carl Sneyd, but also Charlie Large through. We now know the 6 players that will compete for the trophy tomorrow night. We now are going to dot the I's, cross the T's and see who finishes where when Large and Sneyd go head-to-head on the other side of this break.
That to happen, he'd have to hit the 81, but how much pressure? Oh, we could have back-to-back 11 darters, Paul.
We could.
Paul.
100.
Ask and ye shall receive.
You require 81.
Has to hit this by the looks of it. Double 12.
57.
Those 2 misses added to the approach play of Labanauskas mean that we could get our first hold of throw in the final. And that's what we get.
On the 5th leg.
A crushing 14-dart hold from Labanauskas.
6th leg, it's Tom to throw first.
Maybe the 2 biggest darts of this match were the darts at double 12 that missed.
Special final. Fitting
100
for a very special week. And it's far from over.
I'm only going to say this once. A matter of just a few weeks back.
100
Dutch dart player at the Grand Slam averaged record numbers and didn't win a match. In the semis and final tonight, Tom Sykes was averaging over 106.
Combined.
And he could lose this tournament.
Old vessel Nyman. That was
36.
as unlucky as that turn there.
$57.
That's not what he wanted.
Oh, it's given an outside chance. I think it's minimum ton. 140 would, or 137, a 2 treble visit was that's what he wanted. Well, he wanted a 180, but after dart 1, it's got to come down surely.
60.
Like that.
I don't mind it.
2 trebles in the same spot. Well, a 180 here would leave double 4, and he loves it.
140.
Advantage Labanauskas. Firmly. Because championship darts,
40.
they are sitting in his left hand right now.
You require
And with his right hand,
48.
he could now become the Series 9 champion.
Game shot on the match of the Series 9 MODUS Super Series champion, Darius Labanauskas!
Darius's darting dream has come true. He's called Lucky D, but there was nothing lucky.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where before the break we confirmed the 6 players that are going to be playing in tomorrow night's final. Because before the break, a 4-1 win for Ronan McDonagh against Lee Cox means that he, Charlie Large and Carl Sneyd will all progress through to the finals tomorrow night. They're going to join Conan Whitehead, Sam Spivey and Alexander Mashek of Czechia into the finals. So for these 2, they are safe in the knowledge that they will be playing tomorrow night. But now they are looking to finish as high up in the table as possible. League position means not just a more favourable draw potentially tomorrow night, but it also means more money in the pocket. And for these 2 players that are playing just a solitary group this week, then those extra couple of pounds could mean so much.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mashup, isn't it? The 6 players that we've
First
got.
leg, it's Charlie to throw first. Game on.
But what a lovely feeling for these 2. Sneyd and Large have got 3 games left and the job's done.
1.
Imagine how that feels, knowing that you've accomplished your mission. The pressure is taken off. And watch what happens next.
180.
Someone is going to put in a decent performance between now and the end of the night. I guarantee it.
Look what Carl Sneyd's averaging.
96.
Couldn't help yourself, could you?
140.
Should have left it there.
130.
Look what's happening here. You've got Sneyd on 181 after 6. And the demeanour of the players on the stage.
83.
It was different. Their expressions were different. Take the pressure away. You give these people a vessel to play. And you might be able to see the best of them.
82.
Well, Sneyd here looking at 98 for the break and for the opening leg of this match. If he doesn't get it, Charlie Large is on his shoulder and he is going to get a look at this 93 to keep a hold of his throw.
218s. That double 9 is getting absolutely hammered tonight.
Charlie Large. Second leg, it's Cole to throw.
Apparently leaving 181 after 6 wasn't good enough for Carl Sneyd in this leg. He's going to have to go one better.
140.
Here's a question for you, Henry. Are we going to see a 9-darter on a Saturday in this series?
61.
No.
Pessimist.
But if I say yes, it's not going to happen, is it?
Why?
Because if you see my track record of calling 9-darters...
57.
What's wrong with them?
If I say no, it will happen. If I say yes, it won't. So I'm going to say no.
Well, I'm going to say it is going to happen.
56.
I'll be like a giraffe. I'll stick my neck out. But who could it be?
41.
Could be Alex Small in Champions Week. On the Champions Night, that would be fun. Could be Jensen Walker. Who's going to add their name to that shortlist?
Who knows? We could have it at the Double Trouble Special. Now, that would be quite something. Waiting all that time for a 9-darter on a Saturday night, and it comes at a double start tournament.
Stranger things have happened.
98. Carly Rock 164.
Part 1 doesn't get part 2.
98.
And I think because players are through, there may be more of a temptation that when they're on something like that and their opponents aren't on a finish, there might be just that feeling of, do you know what, I'm through, I might go for those types of shots. Well, he's left himself on 44 here, and he's made a bit of a mess of this.
Yeah, just a little bit.
26. Charlie Rock 130.
So Charlie's got a chance of getting a 2-0 lead. The question is, who is going to win this group? Someone's got to stand up. Bull.
105.
Gave that a good scare, but it wasn't quite close enough, and so Sneyd comes back for tops to draw level in this match. 1-1.
Cole Sneyd.
Not quite the high caliber quality of the first leg.
Charlie to throw first.
He's left Charlie Large looking at the skies.
Any idea why he's called Bomber?
He's from Lancashire. I suppose Lancaster Bomber, possibly.
Okay. Well, I suppose the saying that goes with his name that you've already mentioned yesterday, it does come from a nautical film from the mid-80s. I feel the need for Sneyd.
134.
That's a cool bit of that movie, Top Gun.
You know what I'm going to say.
94.
No, I don't.
I've never seen Top Gun.
100.
Trying to be kind here by being silent. I mean, I've got to go full Mervyn King here.
140.
Really? I'm so close to telling you to leave this commentary box.
180. Colleague 167.
Well, that was a bit flashy, wasn't it, from Charlie?
$83.
Well, you left double 15. Might have been hanging out with Luke Littler. He likes double 15.
Well, it works for Littler, but not quite for Large.
Was he going for a 30 in there? To leave double 1?
22. Carly
Well, I said that the
84.
players may be trying something flashy because their qualification hopes are pretty much sealed, but even by those standards, it's a bit flashy. And that's a slack dart from Carl.
We are seeing so many singles missed in this game. We've seen some good scoring, but the singles have been poor.
44. Charlie require 8.
Green bit. Now the red bit.
Game
Foul
shot the
for Charlie
third
Large to lead this
Charlie
contest by 2 legs to 1.
Full flair gets Cole to throw first. Game on.
Haven't seen Top Gun. Next thing you'll see, you haven't seen Grease.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, that's all right then.
59.
Nobody's perfect, Henry. And darts isn't perfect either. And it can't be perfected.
41.
It is pure sport, though. We talked about this yesterday, about the conviction of the wires. We don't need a second referee.
140.
It's in or it's out. There's no in between. I think that's the best part about it, apart from
100.
the whole big family that we are. We all look after each other. When people have bad times, we come together.
98.
I think Charlie, at his young age, will be starting to understand that.
130.
Times are tough. Dart's family can stick together. And his family will be here on Saturday night.
140.
There'll be plenty of them too. I remember the first time he came here on Saturday. It was astonishing how many people who came through the door with him.
90. Collier requires 64.
Oh, you're not going to move not just downstairs, but upstairs in this amazing arena either. Sneyd looking to ensure that this game is all
No
cancelled out,
score.
but he's had a
Charlie
bit of a wild one there.
136.
It's an outside chance of Charlie, but an opportunity nonetheless. He probably didn't expect to have a go at this 136. But he's got a chance of taking it out. But the second dart dragged low.
I'm amazed at how many wild
96.
darts Carl's had in this game.
Collier requires 64.
Multiple missed singles, a bust 64. Double 4 to put it right.
60.
And he's about to go
Charlie
2
require
behind.
40.
Because I can't see Charlie missing this.
Game shot on the fourth flag.
Just like that.
Charlie Large.
Carl Sneyd should be level in this match.
Fifth flag, it's Charlie to throw
But a
first.
couple of erroneous
Game on.
turns has changed not just that leg, but also the complexion of this match. Large leading 3-1.
Carl's averaging exactly 90.
56.
It might be the most untidy 90 average I've ever seen.
43.
But it does tell you a bit of a tale, doesn't it? Even when he's playing nowhere near his best, he's still averaging 90.
96.
That in itself is a good thing. Because it shows you the levels that he's starting to attain when he's playing tidy stuff.
45.
And I suppose as well, there's a feeling that when you play these types of matches, the feel of the throw, the feel of the way you play the game is
95.
completely different.
Yeah, that's true. You look at people who have had the best seasons of their career. Moments in that season,
41.
they will have a bad game or two. It happens to everyone. I mean, think about MVG when he was dominant on the
134.
European Tour and the World Series. I remember a time he lost to Warren Parry in New Zealand, and I think he was 5-0 up. It happens to everyone.
70. Charlie Buck 120.
Charlie here has got time on his side to wrap this match up. Carl Sneyd has not responded to the setback of the previous leg. Does not like dart 1, but manages to crowbar in a treble there. Tops of the match. Tops to win in style.
The match.
Charlie Large with a real push towards the line there. 2 games played, 2 wins, 2 good wins. Average of 97 in his first match, average just under 92 there, 4 from 8 on his doubles, and finishing it off with a 120 finish. He beats Carl Sneyd by 4 legs to 1. After the break, Gary Morson takes on Lee Cox. These two are not going through. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receiving the trophy, £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
On a third leg.
Oh, my word.
Jim McGurn.
The double 16. And Richie Howson is the ultimate legend of the Super Series.
Hold on a minute.
Game shot.
He may be panicking now.
Mason Whitlock hits the 9 darter. yards, which is why he goes to 25 to leave double 18.
Game shot of fifth
Because it
leg.
works a treat.
Well, very much a cosmopolitan field when it comes to next week's action. There's a shade of Ireland in the WDF World Champion, Shane McGurk and John O'Shea. Brandon Weaning and Mason Whitlock of Australia in action too. Richie Howson won the Legends League a few weeks ago. He's back for a tilt at the Super Series title. His first ever Super Series title he's hoping on Monday morning. It starts from 9:30 a.m. All of the darts is exclusively live on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never. Danny Van Tripe also back. Let's have a look then as to what's happened tonight here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Well, it's been fairly routine for the top three. McDonagh, Sneyd, Large, they are all through. They've been comprehensive over the course of the night. And here's confirmation of their passage through. Large and McDonagh on 10. Sneyd on 8. Lee and Gary, they're out of it. But they're up next. These two now in the final couple of matches playing for pride. Lee's only win in this group came in this meeting between the pair yesterday. It was a 4-1 win for Lee Cox, despite missing 10 darts at a double. It was one of those first couple of games where Gary never really got out of the traps. But in fairness to Gary Morson, in his last game he averaged 92. The doubling was good. The only problem is he had a large problem.
Yes, he did. Charlie was excellent, putting in the second best average of the group. And 4 maximums as well. So it's no slight on Gary that he's lost 6 games in a row in this group. He has improved, but people have improved with him.
It's Gary to throw first. Game on.
I'm sure even before tonight started, Lee was thinking to himself, this is unlikely.
55.
Maybe his week 3 pain, it will continue for a few days, but it's really important for him to go up here, play Gary,
41.
and play against Charlie Large as well in game night and go and have fun. Go out there, show that brilliant smile. Go and show your spirit.
85.
And remember that he's been so competitive this week in what has been a heartbreaking scenario in Group A. But what could have been even
60.
worse than that is that he could have been nowhere close to it. What is it they say? Better to have loved and lost than not loved at all. Better to be close and had a chance
135.
than no chance at all.
And he says it's going to be one of those that Lee's going to have to look back on the cold light of day. Right now, it's going to hurt, and understandably
58.
hurt. But this is just the beginning of the season. And this is the interesting thing about the first series of a new calendar year. The season's just beginning. This, an opportunity to set a benchmark for the year ahead. If it goes well,
140.
it's a launch pad. But if not, it gives you a great opportunity to see where your game's at and give yourself opportunities to improve yourself as the season heads forth.
55. Gary require 86.
Very well put, Henry. Very well thrown, Gary.
70.
Gary's mission is very simple. 2 games left. Make sure you get a win.
95.
Doesn't care if it's against
Gary
Lee
requires 16.
or Carl or both. Very much a fingertip grip.
Game shot
Quite
the
intricate
first
and
leg.
very good.
Gary Morson. Second leg is Lee to throw
What you've just
first.
said
Game on.
about the time of year and what happens is an ability to learn and move on. Nobody
100.
embodies that more than Connor Scott from 12 months ago. He came in here, he was struggling with the balance of his dart. He was fresh off the tour, and he was largely fancied to have a bounce back.
81.
But he used the entire season as a way to figure out what had gone wrong. With his work ethic
135.
and his smarts, he did figure it out.
Well, Connor Scott was the star pupil, wasn't he, last year? And I think he's going to be an
38.
example for many years to come of how a player reacts to despondency. And there's going to be a number of players this year that dropped off the Pro Tour that are going to harbour ambitions of getting back
58.
there and getting back there quickly.
Danny Van Tripe is going to be interesting next week because on the Pro Tour, it was few and far between. Maybe getting there a couple of years ago was a bit
140.
soon. So you drop back off the tour, you come back here, you do some other stuff, and you figure out how strong you are.
96.
Fascinating to see Danny next week.
Although Danny Van Tripe had a problem in Southampton where his face didn't fit. And what I mean by that was he was that tall he couldn't fit the top of his head on one of the cameras.
So it's a good job we're in Portsmouth now then.
Absolutely.
60. They require 112.
112 for Cox. Can he find a way over the top? I think that's just gone underneath. Yes, it has.
76.
76 scored, leaves 36.
$85. They require 36. Game shot.
Yeah,
the
that's very well
second
measured.
Lee Cox.
You can see he's starting to
Then
relax
gets
now.
Gary to throw third.
It's good to see.
Game on.
He's been under pressure for a good couple of days. And that takes its toll.
$85.
Don't underestimate as well just how much of a privilege it is for Lee to play someone like Gary. How often does he get an opportunity to play someone of his stature?
140.
Last time I checked, Gary wasn't going around the local leagues in Crawley.
And if he did, then he was waiting for a flight to the wrong airport.
That's probably the only reason why Gary knows of Crawley. Because it used to be on the Pro Tour, one of the venues there. And Gatwick Airport's about 3 miles up the...
130.
I forgot the name of the motorway, and I used to live right next to it.
M23.
That's the one. Thanks, Henry.
Ah, the K2 at Crawley, Ronnie O'Sullivan's favourite snooker venue.
He doesn't know anything. K2 was awesome.
100.
You won at the K2, didn't you?
Twice. Yeah, first one. Beat Michael Rosenauer in the
95.
quarter-final.
Gary Rick 136.
Semi-final. Gary Anderson. Final, Adrian Lewis. That was fun. Like this could be.
120. Lee Rick 132.
132 is not on the menu. And so Morson is going to come back. Looking at 88.
92.
Averaging
Gary
here
McCoy,
95.
60.
He's found a really good level all of a sudden, Gary. The problem for him is it's come too late in proceedings. He'll be happy
Game
that he's
shot the
found
third
something
leg.
here. And
Gary
he's showing
Morson.
his true ability. We know how good a player he is. And he's beginning to showcase it here on Friday.
Full flag gets Lee to throw first. Game on.
Do you want to hear a funny tale about the K2 in Crawley?
Yes.
It wasn't the biggest of venues. I think that's one of the reasons why they moved on from it.
140.
They used the likes of Milton Keynes and Wigan and Barnsley because they were just a bit bigger. But I remember the semi-final of my second win there, which was about
11.
8 weeks later. I was playing Wes Newton in the semi. It was 5-5. I'm sitting on double 18.
100.
And I can't beat Wes at this point. He was the biggest thorn on my side my whole career. And I thought, why have I got to go through this guy again? He gave me the visit to double 18 with 3 darts, and I hit it first dart.
85.
And the other semi-final was happening on the other side of the arena. And when I hit the double 18, I said quite loudly, finally. And the referee turned and said,
83.
shush, there's another match going on. And my automatic response was to look to the other semi-finals and apologise. And Terry Jenkins and Scott Rand were looking at me as if to say, all right, take it easy, pal.
The K2 was a venue that Ronnie O'Sullivan was
140.
quoted as to saying in 2018 is a bit of a hellhole.
It's bit harsh.
And then he could smell certain
100.
things.
Trust me, I've played darts, and many people have played darts in worse places than the K2 in Crawley.
133. Lee requires 78.
Well, this is a 2-2. He's just began to get up to Gary's level. He's looking at tops to square up.
38. Gary requires
Now, this would be fun
132.
if Morson got this.
No champagne for Gary.
92.
But he's a
Lee
lot
requires
tidier
40.
tonight, isn't he? Even the visits that don't hit, they're still a lot better than last night. And Gary will get a
20.
chance.
Gary require
This is for a break of throw.
40.
That elusive win could be close.
No
Game
mistake
shot
on the
on the
double
fourth
10. Morson
Gary
breaks.
Morson.
Leads 3-1 and has the darts to get a win, which you'd have to
Against
say on the
Gary
basis
to
of play
throw
and the way he's
first.
played, particularly
Game.
tonight, that he would deserve. Average in excess of 92, doubling okay, 3 from 8, has the darts to beat Lee Cox.
$81.
People tend to forget as well that Gary's played at multiple Grand Slam of darts tournaments. He did make the last 16 as well.
100.
I think a lot of the North American players have this reputation from the 90s and noughties and seen as players that
60.
weren't necessarily good enough to go far. I think that's so unfair. Because I've spoken to many people about North American darts over the years. It's really unfair to say that they weren't good enough.
97.
You look at players like Gary, John Part, Darren Young especially, Scott Kirchner, and even the players
97.
10 years before that, like Larry Butler and Gerald Verrier, Dan Lauby Sr., they were important.
40.
I mean, even going back to Steve Brown and Sean Downs and people like that. I mean, I was looking at the On This Darting Day yesterday, and a name came up.
100.
Rick Ney. These are names that some people have probably never heard of, but these are important figures for North American darts over the last 50 years.
100.
If these guys weren't around, who knows where North American darts would be? It might be non-existent because there was a huge scene back in the 70s, 80s and 90s. The North American
80.
Open was
Lee
one of the biggest tournaments in the
164.
world.
Well, he is going to take out the 1-6-4. So Gary Morson here has got an opportunity to get a first win on the Super Series stage. He's 83 points away from it. Lee scored 75 here. He's just whirling around the calculations.
82.
But this, Gary Morson, is your moment to make your mark on the Super Series stage. And he's going to get 2 darts in his hand. A double 16. Gary Morson is a winner on the Super Series stage. He is improved on night 2, and he has got his Just Awards. He has got the better of Lee Cox by 4 legs to 1 to claim his first ever win in this famous church. That's how he's done it. That's game 6 in the books. Coming up on the other side of this short break, we've got Charlie Large and Ronan McDonagh on the menu.
That to happen, he'd have to hit the 81. But how much pressure? Oh, we could have back-to-back 11 darters, Paul.
We could.
Paul.
100.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Require 81.
Has to hit this by the looks of it. Double 12.
57.
Those two misses, added to the approach play of Labanauskas, mean that we could get our first hold of throw in the final. And that's what we get.
On the fifth leg.
A crushing 14-dart hold from Labanauskas.
Sixth leg, it's Tom to throw first.
Maybe the two biggest darts of this match were the darts at double 12 that missed.
Special final. Fitting
100
for a very special week. And it's far from over.
I'm only going to say this once. A matter of just a few weeks back,
100
Dutch dart player at the Grand Slam averaged record numbers and didn't win a match. In the semis and final tonight, Tom Sykes was averaging over 106.
Combined.
And he could lose this tournament.
Old vessel Nyman. That was
36.
as unlucky as that turn there.
That's not what he wanted.
Oh, it's given an outside chance. I think it's minimum ton. 140 would, or 137, a two treble visit was just what he wanted. Well, he wanted a 180, but after dart one, got to come down surely.
60.
Like that.
I don't mind it.
Two trebles in the same spot. Well, a 180 here would leave double four, and he loves it.
140.
Advantage Labanauskas. Firmly. Because championship darts,
40.
they are sitting in his left hand right now. And with his right hand, he could now become the Series 9 champion.
Game shot on the match of the Series 9 MODUS Super Series champion, Darius Labanauskas!
Darius's darting dream has come true. He's called Lucky D, but there was nothing lucky.
Well, we're midnight snacking here on Pluto TV on the MODUS Super Series dedicated channel. I'll have one order of large McDonagh, please, in Game 7 of our night. Before the break. Gavin Morson got the better of Lee Cox by 4-1. But for these two, they are into tomorrow night's final. And I tell you what, the way these two have been playing this evening, if they get going, we could have an absolute thriller, crackerjacker on our hands.
It's Charlie to throw first. Game on.
Charlie's playing great tonight, averaging mid-90s. McDonagh's been really reliable.
90.
He's averaging around 90 as well. Yeah, they could really go off here.
97.
Having said that, Game 4 of Thursday night yielded a 4-0 victory for Charlie Lodge.
37.
He averaged nearly 94, which is what he's doing for about, well, roughly tonight. 4 out of 7 on the doubles, 2 maximums. He's not even finished. And this is by far the best I've seen Charlie play here.
140.
And if we go through the 6 players who are going to be playing on Saturday night,
180.
in fact, let's do it in the next leg, because in about 50 seconds, someone's got to a finish.
Well, this is fast and this is furious as far as starts are concerned
45,
in this
right,
match.
135.
McDonagh looking for 135 to take the opening leg of a break in about a minute flat. It's not going to happen on this occasion. Well, he thought that the styles of these two could make a good fight, and so far,
59.
the blue touch paper looks as if it's been lit.
You love that saying, don't you?
Everyone's going to have a
57.
catchphrase.
Ronan, you require 76.
Double top.
36. Charlie, you require 112.
Does Charlie get a dart at a double here? Most of the time he is from these positions. He does again.
Game shot.
That's
the
incredible.
First leg.
It's only an 18
Charlie
darter, but
Love.
it's still a brilliant leg.
That's his 5th tub plus checker of the
Second is
week.
Ronan to throw
The
first.
112 joins the 120, 122, 111 and the 117. And he's nicked that leg
66.
from Ronan McDonagh.
Have you ever seen a movie involving Ryan Reynolds called Free Guy? Or is that the stupidest
96.
question I've ever asked you? Because you don't watch movies and you haven't seen Top Gun.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's a character
41.
in that movie called Blue Shirt Guy. And there's a evolutionary version of that character. You know, his catchphrase is actually the word
100.
catchphrase.
That's very imaginative, isn't it?
It's clever. Anyway, you're right. Everybody needs a
60.
catchphrase. And I wonder what we're going to get from the winner this week. Because if you think about who's won the first 2 weeks in this series, Alex Small and then
59.
Jensen Walker, they hadn't won a title before. Casey Vinnikainen winning the Women's Week. She hadn't won a
60.
title before. Richie Howson winning the Legends League Week. He hadn't won a title before. There's only one person in Saturday Night this week who has won a title before, and that's Conan Whitehead.
96.
So maybe 2025 is the year of the new champions.
Although I am sure the Barbarian is going to have
45.
something to say
Charlie,
about it.
require
Okay, this could
150.
be interesting. Well, we all prepared for some eventuality,
90.
but that eventuality never came.
That young man just wants to win.
I like it.
140. Charlie requires 60.
Playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. He's not
Game shot
doing
the
much
second
wrong.
leg. Charlie Love.
Ronan is playing really well in this group, but he hasn't laid a glove
Third leg,
on
it's
Charlie
to
Large.
throw first.
Look at the
Game-
shake of the head going to the table. It's 6-0 to Charlie in this head-to-head so far.
56. $140.
Interesting chat you had with Ronan earlier. He was talking about struggling with dartitis in prior times. It's always great to see
57.
somebody playing well when they've struggled with that in the past. But there's a lot of great players who have struggled with that and come back stronger.
83.
Mervyn King. Mark Walsh. Mark Webster to a certain extent.
99.
It's not a terminal thing, that's for sure.
140.
But I'm sure, I can't say from first-hand experience, it must be very difficult to come through.
Well, Kevin Painter gave such a candid interview,
59.
didn't he, last
Only
year about
138.
the problems that he's had with dartitis in recent times, and he explained that for something
58.
that for him, 30-year career he's had was so simple, it's just something that you don't even think about, just subconsciously enters the psyche and becomes a real glaring
81.
issue.
Ronan, you require 80.
Does he want to go 25 bull?
I don't think he was too pleased about that, is my best guess.
20. Charlie require 140.
Is this one beyond Charlie Large, I wonder? It is this time. But you do fancy that Ronan can't miss this. That's nice and low.
Game show the
And it
third
meant he
leg.
didn't have to move.
Ronan McDonagh.
He finally gets a leg against
Full flag
Charlie.
gets Ronan to throw first. Game on.
Ireland are going to be holding some really interesting
100.
sporting events over the next few years, aren't they? They've got an NFL game for the first time later this year. That was announced this morning. And in 2027, they've got the Ryder Cup
100.
at Adair Manor. You look at pictures of that, looks like heaven.
60.
That's going to be unbelievable. 2006 at the K Club when Ian Woosnam was the captain, it was incredible. Adair Manor will be an event.
97.
Dublin hosted the Europa
60.
League final, didn't it, as well last year, when Adamola Lookman scored a hat-trick for Atalanta to impose a first defeat of Bayer Leverkusen's season.
140.
Yeah, Atalanta really missed Rasmus Højlund when they let him go, didn't they?
Well, put it this way,
100.
these two
Charlie
players are
Require
scoring much better than
164.
Rasmus is right now. 164 on offer. 164 on the menu still. But he's decided to play pragmatic because one is not on a finish.
100. $65. Charlie requires 64.
One fewer than the number that Ronan's just found. That's okay. 17 for tops.
24. Ronan, you require 116.
Is this going to be a close game? It might depend on this.
44. Charlie requires
Charlie's
40.
just been too reliable on the doubles. You just don't see him missing.
Game shot on the full flag.
And that top
Charlie Large.
looks like it's on a string for Charlie Large at this present moment in time.
Fifth flag,
There's such a
it's Charlie to
dependency
throw
about his
first.
play at the minute.
Game on.
He leads 3-1. He has the darts for a 4-1 win. And you have to say, so far tonight, he has made this look like a cakewalk. 4 180s,
85.
97 average and a 4-2 winning is a very good version of Gary Morson. He then dismissed Carl Sneyd
100.
4-1 with little manner of fuss. And now he's 3-1 to the goods here against Ronan. And on the cusp of another 4-1 win.
97. $140.
Isn't it amazing how we say certain things and we've got absolutely no idea where it
99.
came from? The whole cakewalk thing it's a bit long in the tooth.
140.
It'll take a long time to explain, but if you've got time, go and have a little read on it. It's fascinating stuff.
56. Ronan, you require
Is
121.
this going to be a cakewalk for Ronan? Triple 17. Bullseye.
96.
Just
Charlie
wide of the
require
mark.
164.
If Charlie gets a shot at the ball, this would be something.
Not to be,
84. Ronan,
but
you
it could be a
require
case of
25.
from procession to pressure here for Charlie Large. If McDonagh can find double 8.
9. Charlie, you require
Not
80.
quite. There's a narrative very close by as Charlie goes for tops and the win to beat Ronan twice ahead of maybe a meeting on Saturday. Ronan thinks he's hitting this.
60.
He was wrong on this
Ronan, you
occasion.
require 16.
Well, maybe occasionally he does miss tops. Ronan has to find double 4. Down for 2. He's chasing around the board. Cannot
14.
find. Head in
Charlie, you
hands. He may
require
be shaking
20.
the hand of his opponent in a couple of moments' time. Because Charlie Large comes back looking at double 10 to round this match off. The first one grazes the wire. The second one moves a
Game
couple of
shot
inches
and the
across.
match.
And Charlie
Charlie
Large
Large.
gets the better of Ronan McDonagh by 4 legs. What a lovely embrace. A hug between the pair. These two have become good pals over the last couple of days, but it's Charlie Large that's beaten his mate up in that particular match. A 4-1 victory against Ronan McDonagh. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to see Gary Morson for the final time in this group. He is going to take on Carl Sneyd in a few moments' time. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler! Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Before the break, Charlie Large got the better of Ronan McDonagh, by 4 legs to 1. Easy for me to say at 10 past midnight. Game 8 is Carl Sneyd and Gary Morson going toe-to-toe here on the live lounge stage. For Gary, well, it's going to be farewell to our friend from the United States. He's shown us some good glimmers today. It's been a much improved night compared to his showings on Thursday evening, but it hasn't quite been
First
enough
leg,
to
it's
qualify him
Cole
through.
to
Just the
throw
one win to
first.
his name. Carl Sneyd
Game
has
on.
known since match 4 that he was going to be into Saturday's crescendo session. And he'll be hoping that he has a sweet symphony towards the end of the night, because he plays
60.
2 of the last 3 fixtures. He plays Gary here and will end the show against Ronan McDonagh. For Gary, it's been great to reminisce, have a
50.
walk down memory lane with him, looking to look at some of his career highlights. Former UK Open finalist back in 2008, losing out to James Wade. Been great to see him here on the live lounge stage. But Carl Sneyd is in no mood for sympathy.
Not at all.
100.
Hot start from Carl, and he doesn't want Gary to leave with a victory. Carl's got 2 victories on his mind before he gets to Saturday night.
100.
Now, this point last week, we went quite late with our last session before Saturday. And the turnaround for the 3 players, it was tight.
100. Carl, you
And I think it had an effect. I don't think that's going to be the case this week because the pressure hasn't been as high.
90.
Well, Sneyd just proficiently enough going about his business, leaving 71 after just a dozen darts. Morson, in response, is trying to leave himself handy enough.
140.
111 is what he leaves, but is he going to get a poke at it? Sneyd 71. Tops.
31.
Just
Gary
above the
require
wire.
111.
That puts pay to that one. That's a nice deflection, though.
71.
Just in case Carl doesn't find this, Morson is in weight.
Double 10.
20. Gary
Edgy,
require
shaky,
40.
nervy. Morson looking at tops to pinch this first leg. Double 5.
35. Carl, you require 20.
Well, this has been a spluttery end to this first leg.
Game shot on the first leg.
But Carl Sneyd keeps himself together.
Second leg, it's
Just
Gary
been looking
to go
into
first.
Gary's career. I had a sneaky suspicion that he had played in a WDF World Cup. But I didn't know it was in the Netherlands in 2007.
97.
And when you consider how darts was around then for Gary,
140.
he must have been going from the PDC system to the WDF system backwards and forwards quite often. Because if you think about modern day PDC darts,
100.
the Dutch Darts Championship last year was played in a place called Rosmalen at a venue called the Autotron. That's going to be hosting Players' Championships this month
41.
and in April, and I believe the Dutch Darts Championship in May. Back in 2007, when Gary played for the United States at the WDF World Cup, it was at the
96.
Autotron in Rosmalen. And they made the semi-finals of the team event, losing out to eventual champions England. Now get your thinking
60.
caps on, everybody. I'll give you the American team, but think about who could have been in that England team. USA were Gary Morson,
38.
Chris Linkus, Joe Sliven, and Jib Widmeyer. But if you can get all
85.
4 of the England team
Gary require
by the end of the next leg,
130.
I will be mightily impressed. You might get 3 of them, but one of them you might have forgotten about.
Do you, Gary?
87.
Okay, maybe not. By the way, is that officially a tungsten teaser?
Well, if you want to categorise it, I suppose so.
Hashtag tungsten teaser.
120.
Do you not know you don't have to do
Gary
hashtags
require
anymore?
43.
I don't know that game. Anyway, Gary's got game. But is he going to be in this game? Double
Game
10
shot
is
the
found.
second leg.
And we're on
Gary
level
Morson.
terms. One apiece.
Well,
Third
some of the
leg,
other
it's
teams
Carl
in
to
that
throw
2007
first. Game on.
World Cup. Mark Webster was playing for Wales with Robert Hughes, Martin Phillips and Wayne Warren. Oh boy, I bet they had some times.
100.
The World Cup singles was actually won by Mark Webster that year, beating Robert Wagner of Norway in the final.
100.
Pairs was won by the Netherlands, Mario Robert and Joey ten Berge. We don't
93.
hear or see much of these days, which is a bit of a shame. Joey was a great player. I'll give the game away. The England team that was the best
58.
in that event, taking the team event by 9 legs to 8 over the Netherlands, which comprised of Koos Stompe, Mario Robert, Joey ten Berge and Niels de
58.
Ruyter, who would go on to make the semi-finals of the World Championship at Lakeside just a few months after that. England was Martin Adams, Tony O'Shea, John Boy Walton.
125.
That won't seem like a surprise. But the fourth member, Steve Farmer of Shropshire.
The infamous
58.
bust of Steve Farmer once upon a time at the World Championship.
Yeah, he celebrated a 180 and it was a bust shot. Good player, Steve. Won a PDC title, actually, in the
100.
Netherlands. In Newland in 2011. Very, very good player.
Was it Steve Farmer you had that ridiculous game with at the World Championship? Or am I thinking of someone completely
96.
different?
No. Yeah,
Gary
that was the
180.
record-setting game. I was the first person in a 5-set match to have 83% on doubles. It has been matched
78.
3 times since then,
196.
including by someone from the Philippines at the recent World Championship. Double-double. He decided not.
56. Gary require 40.
Morson's probably thinking, why couldn't I have been at this level last night? I might have had more points coming into Friday night.
No score. Carly require 40.
But his mistake darts at a double in this match. Just 1 for 9 on the outer ring, which has given Sneyd another opportunity. Double 10. Well, these two are chasing round now.
35. Gary require
This
40.
feels like a fatigued face-off between this pair. Zapped of energy,
Game
trying to
further.
find whatever's in the
Gary
reserves.
Morson.
And it is Morson who moves 2-1 to the
For
good
Vergets, Gary
with
to
a
throw
break of
first.
throw in his hand.
Game on.
Well, not literally, but you know where I'm coming from.
You're a big fan of the North American tournaments that have wonderful names, aren't you? Who isn't?
Absolutely. Who doesn't love the Groundhog Classic and the Choo Choo Open?
Yeah, the Groundhog was
45.
recently. It's at the first weekend of February every year.
Again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah, once a year.
100.
So when an American comes here, you have to ask them, which of those great named tournaments have you won?
81.
Gary has won the Windy City Open. That one's quite mundane, actually. That's in Chicago. The Syracuse Open. That's because that's Syracuse, New York. But the Cherry Bomb
81.
International. That's a bit better. But maybe the best one, the Blueberry Hill Open. I like that one.
100.
Before you finish, Gary, you've got to get a Choo Choo Classic, a Shoot for the Moon, or something new that we don't know about yet.
50.
Well, in Canada, there is the Salmon Harvest Open taking place in a couple of months' time.
61.
The Cherry Bomb International.
Yeah, Gary's won that twice. 2013, beat Eddie Morales in the final. And in 2016,
101.
he beat Leonard Gates in the final And that was held in Florida. So, fairly local.
We've also got the Music City
83.
Classic.
Gary required 103.
Well, that'd be in Nashville.
Has to. Well, Gary Morson hasn't quite been working 9 to 5. But he's not going to win that one. The best one I've heard, I've just heard it from our
87. Gary required
esteemed producer in our ear.
131.
The Party in the Patio Classic.
That's pretty good. I think this is something that maybe the amateur darts circuit
91. Gary
could
required
work on.
16.
Because tournament names in this country are abysmal compared to the North Americans.
James on the 4th flag.
And Gary
Morson
has been anything but abysmal tonight. He's 3-1 up on Carl Sneyd.
flag gets
He might
called
be
to
leaving with
first.
2 victories.
Game on.
Just one more. Right, you're probably wondering why I've got the giggles.
96.
There's a tournament called the Summer Skunk Skirmish.
60.
It's just very clever, isn't it? That's a word that doesn't get used enough. Skirmish. I bet you Gary would say that better than any of us here.
140.
There's one in Australia called the Pit to Port Classic later on this year.
Oh, Australia got some great ones. I'm very proud that I've won the Wagga Wagga Classic
140.
and the Wagga Wagga Open.
$87.
This is the beautiful thing about being an international travelling dart player. You can play wherever you want and win so many different titles.
42. $57.
Well, Sneyd's obviously not going to go without a fight here. Maybe he's just lost a little bit of adrenaline knowing that he's through. He's not going to be conserving anything.
59.
He's
Colin
probably
McCormick,
learning at this
21.
stage that the adrenaline that seems to have dissipated from his body is something he will need on Saturday night.
53.
It looks like Morson may
45.
have to
Colin requires 68.
wait to leg more if he is to get over the finishing line in this one. Sneyd looking at 68 to bring it back to 3-2. He's going to get 2 in his hand at double
James
10. How
on the
good
fifth
was
leg.
that?
Goal
How
Sneyd.
good was that? Pop,
Sixth leg,
pop,
it's Gary
clinical
to
from
throw
Carl.
first.
Back to 3-2.
Game on.
Morson to serve it out. Actually, just having a look at the ADO Darts website. It's good to know that they're getting things in order, because on their calendar, on their website, you can book ahead for the 60th annual
95.
White Mountain Shootout in April 2049.
That's some good planning.
140.
You never know, just in case. In case there's a rush. Might not want to tell that story to Mark Walsh, who went all the way to Las Vegas once, went to register, and he was told by the PDC, "I'm sorry, you're not registered, you can't play." That's a true story.
180.
The true story here is that Carl is getting back into the game.
96.
Well, that would be some parting shot, wouldn't it? End your campaign with a 170 out. I suppose because he lives in
90.
Florida,
Gary require 107.
we can give this name the Marlin for now. Hook it in, Gary.
No, Gary, no.
100. Collier require 91.
And so Sneyd to take us all the way. 2 at tops. Double 10.
Game
And that's a 12
shot,
dart. That
the
was a
sixth
really
flag.
good leg that from
Carl
Carl.
Sneyd.
He's come back well in this contest. Morson raced into a
7th
3-1
and
lead.
final
A
leg, it's
lovely
Carl
show of
to throw
respect from them
first.
two as we go into the final leg of this contest.
Game on.
Gary Morson has been a great addition to the Super Series over the last couple of nights. Popular in the practice room, popular with his peers. He's been great fun to have here in Portsmouth. But is he going to end with
58.
another win to his name? And if he does, then Charlie Large is guaranteed to win the group. No ifs, buts, maybes. We'll be going large in this group.
96.
Do you know what? We missed a trick.
100.
We forgot to mention the Hedgehog Hellraiser. What a great name for a tournament. Held in Littleton, Colorado.
60.
Won in 2023 by Leonard Gates. Funnily enough, a guy that made the quarterfinals of that tournament actually made the Dutch Open final
99.
last weekend. Dave Fathom of Arizona. Haven't seen a great deal of Dave over the years. That's a great result for him. Losing up to Jeffrey Sparadans.
Jeffrey's booked his
98.
place at the Lakeside in December, and David, to be fair, because of the ranking points that the Dutch Open give you, will not be too far away of a spot if he can do well in the United States of America circuit.
100.
Well, you can't miss Dave. He's tall. He's rather chatty. And he's wearing shirts these days that make Peter Wright shirts look as mundane as my sweater.
100. Cole, you have 144.
You can barely separate these guys. 3 points between them. Unfortunately for Gary,
92. Gary,
6
you have
points between them in the
147.
table, which is why he's not going to qualify. Another treble. Nearly gets it.
95. Cole, you have
Well,
152.
it's been a fun ride for Gary Morson, but Carl Sneyd is in the business of wins. Can he claim another one here?
32.
Not right now. And so Gary
Gary
Morson could
required
actually
52.
end his campaign with back-to-back wins. Double top. Now double 10.
32.
Doesn't go. And Sneyd is back for
Cole,
the
you
same
require
target.
20.
He's not going to miss again. I emphasize he will not miss again.
Game
Because he won't.
shot and the match.
And Carl Sneyd still has an
Carl
opportunity to win this Group B. For Gary Morson, he has been such a great addition to the Super Series. He's been great fun to have here the last few days. And that smile, well, that's not going to come off his face. He beams from ear to ear. But Carl Sneyd's hoping to go wire to wire and lead this group from top to tail. A 4-3 win, he'll play in the last match of the night. But if Charlie Large gets the better of his opponent after the break, then he's going to top the group.
For that to happen, he'd have to hit the 81. But how much pressure? Oh, we could have back-to-back 11 darters, Paul.
We could.
Paul.
130.
Ask and ye shall
Cole,
receive.
you require 81.
Has to hit this by the looks of it. Double 12.
57.
Those two misses,
Gary require
added to the
55.
approach play of Labanauskas, mean that we could get our first hold of throw in the final. And that's what we
Gary
get.
shot on the fifth leg.
A
Gary
crushing 14 dart
Labanauskas.
hold from Labanauskas.
Sixth leg, it's Tom to throw first.
Maybe the two
Gabe.
biggest darts of this match were the darts at double 12 that missed.
Special final. Fitting
100.
for a very special week. And it's far from over.
I'm only going to say this once. A matter of just a few weeks back.
140.
Dutch dart player at the Grand Slam averaged record numbers and didn't win a match. In the semis and final tonight, Tom Sykes
100.
is averaging over 106.
Combined.
And he could lose this tournament.
Old vessel moment. That was
36.
as unlucky as that turn there.
$57.
That's not what he wanted.
Oh, it's given an outside chance. I think it's minimum ton. 140 would, or 137, a two treble visit was that's what he wanted. Well, he wanted a 180, but after dart one, it's got to come down surely.
60.
Like that.
I don't mind it.
Two trebles in the same spot. Well, a 180 here would leave double four, and he loves it.
140.
Advantage Labanauskas. Firmly. Because championship darts,
40.
they are sitting in his left hand right now.
Darius should require
And with his right hand,
48.
he could now become the Series 9 champion.
Game, shot, and the match! And the Series 9 MODUS Super Series champion, Darius Labanauskas!
Darius's darting dream has come true. He's called Lucky D, but there was nothing lucky.
Two more matches to go on this Friday night here, the MODUS Super Series. Before the break, Carl Sneyd got the better of Gary Morson by 4 legs to 3. And now we're going to watch Lee take on Charlie. The final match of their respective groups. For Lee, he's going to depart us. For Charlie, he needs just 1 leg from this match to top the group. And what an achievement that would be for him. He's only qualified for finals night once before. That came in a Group C situation. He's done so in a Group B, but to top the group, that will mean a lot to him, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
140.
And just imagine if you're going into a Saturday night campaign having only lost 1 game in your group. That happened to Sam Spivey the last time he was here
95.
in a Group C. Admittedly, the last couple of days were a bit more circumspect.
60.
But wherever Charlie has played, he has played superbly. He's only lost to the best average of anybody who's won a game in this
59.
group, and that was Carl Sneyd yesterday. 97.57. That's what it took to beat Charlie Large here this week.
125.
Nobody else has found that.
Well, it's Lee who's got off to the better start of this pair.
140.
6 darts on 176 to take out the opening leg.
60.
Well, 1-6 required
43. Lee
for the
required
opening leg of this match.
160.
Just 1 treble needed for a stab at the double. He needs to find it with dart 2. Can he find a way up? No, he can't.
60. Charlie required 164.
I think if you're in this situation where you're already
64.
through
Lee required 56.
and you have a chance to win the group, that should be enough to keep the adrenaline high.
Game shot on the first leg.
But he kept things high there. I
Lee
think that was a
Cox.
change of plan there from Lee. He would usually go 16 for tops.
Second leg, it's Charlie to throw first. Game on.
We love you too, Lee.
He ain't moving.
91.
That's because Conan Whitehead tried to have a stare out with the camera earlier in the group.
59.
I'm not sure who won. Don't tell me that dart players haven't got a personality. Some of these guys are salt of the earth brilliance.
96.
And off the hockey as well, there's nothing negative you could say about Lee as a guy. Real solid bloke.
Do you know what?
180.
Being totally honest, I first met Lee when we were in Southampton, and he became quite a regular fixture.
58.
I didn't know him from Adam. Very quickly, I warmed to him. Warmed to his game, warmed to his passion for the sport,
22.
what he wanted to do, but more than anything, I just loved his company. I still do. I look forward to him coming back.
Well, he was one of the players involved in the first ever
58.
session that I did back in Southampton back in May 2022. It's that long ago now. And I just remember being a nervous wreck before that session began. But Lee was in the arena. I was being shown around the place. And he had a really good chat with me. I got to know him really well. He's a really good guy, is Lee. And
Who else was playing that week?
Colin Osborne,
58.
Aaron Monk, Justin Smith.
Well, Justin Smith's here next week.
David Wazowski, because I remember my first ever session.
85.
Don't get that
Charlie
name
Require,
wrong.
140.
Just call him Dave.
Learn that very quickly. Large looking at 140. Giving it large, but not hitting it large.
120. Lee Require, 95.
92. It's going to have to be the treble 20 then. There it is.
63. Charlie Require, 20.
Double five. Pulled that one.
Game shot on the second.
Didn't pull
leg.
that one.
Charlie
We're
Love.
level.
Third leg, it's
That
Lee to throw
means that
first.
Charlie
Game
Large has won this Group B.
A fantastic achievement. It has to be said.
on. 100.
You think about the experience of Morson, the experience of Lee Cox here, the expectation of Carl Sneyd,
57.
and the improvement through the week of McDonagh. And Charlie's beaten them all.
140.
I actually just found that first ever session I did.
That's because you keep everything.
That's what we do, right?
That's what you do.
97.
The Group C was David Wazowski, Graham Usher, Aaron Monk, Colin Osborne, Justin Smith, Richard North. The Group B was Chaz Barstow, Robert Owens, Scott Walters, Lee Cox, and Rob Collins.
That's not a bad bunch of lads, that. Really good.
Well, the darts doesn't stop here.
121.
On
Lee,
Pluto
161.
Following tonight's live action, Richie Burnett is going to join Paul Nicholson. Well, not now, but
90.
in a pre-recorded sense. Richie Burnett joined Paul Nicholson on Tungsten Talk to delve into memorable moments on the dart circuit.
That was a good chat with Richie, that. He was very candid.
134. Lee,
Definitely
Require
worth a watch.
71.
Great dart there from Lee. Needs double 8.
Game shot.
That's
the
more
third
like
leg.
it.
Lee Cox.
Even if
Full flag, it's
you're
Charlie
not coming
to
back to
drop
Saturday
first.
night.
Game on.
You see, we've got to watch the darts, Lee. We can't just keep it on you.
65.
You still want to end with a win, don't you? I think he's taken everything that's happened this week on the chin very well. But it would be
60.
nice to get a victory to make sure that he isn't bottom of the table.
96.
He does have a better leg difference than Gary Morson in a projectional sense. But any win will make sure he's fourth, which means that the
140.
financial benefits of being fourth instead of fifth, they will be there for him.
140.
Well, Lee here looking to make some inroads on Charlie's 200. Unfortunately, he's the first to have finished. But Charlie will feel like he's got a more makeable opportunity here to square this match up at 2 apiece. Well, he's making severe inroads now.
140.
Power scoring beautifully.
He hasn't quite found that bazooka in this game yet. Almost had it there.
48. Charlie requires 60.
He's done this a couple of times already.
50.
There might be the checkouts he gets on Saturday night that he might have to find. $56. And he's employing this double 18 tactic again.
77. Charlie
This time it
requires
doesn't
10.
work. Large back for double 5. 3 double 1. Route 1.
8.
But not got in 1. And so, for a break, double 9 for Lee Cox.
27.
He's had some trouble on that double this week.
2.
That's mature.
Game
He
shot
stood
the
back, he
4
wasn't
there.
comfortable, and then he gets
Charlie
it
Large.
hit. Seriously impressive.
There's
Fifth leg
so
gets Lee to
much
throw first.
about Charlie I've liked this week.
Here's a question for you. Players like Charlie, people of his age,
125.
we're talking between 18 and 21. They're watching Premier League darts. They're watching the PDC Pro Tour now. Are they learning how to get
100.
better from what Littler's doing?
I think there's definitely an inspiration factor from it. But I think in terms of Charlie as an individual,
100.
I think he's somebody that does his own thing. And I think he improves based on those around him in his vicinity when he's playing in local competitions, playing in local opens.
93.
He's kind of watching what other people do around him, try to feed off some of the good bits and put that all together. A little bit like a darting magpie.
100.
So that's why he's all in black and white.
Wouldn't be the first magpie into a final this week, would he?
38.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you've got to stay humble.
44.
There's going to be a lot of black and white on Saturday night. Welling United fan Conan Whitehead's going to be adorning the old black and white as
80.
well.
Lee 132.
Treble 19 pull. Bullseye. Just drags that
99.
low.
Charlie Rock
Has Charlie Large got a big fish in his locker? Has he? No.
134.
Great setup, though.
Lee required 33.
Ouch. That leaves 15. So a big 7. He does
Game
figure it
shot
out.
the fifth leg.
But I have a philosophy
Lee
here.
Cox.
Is using these very dark coloured moulded
Sixth leg
flights
is
which
Charlie
are
to throw first.
bonded to
Game.
the stem. His darts are leaning a little bit left. I just wonder if they're a little heavy.
100.
What he's used in the past, when he was using the Gezi Price dart, he was using foldable flights,
77.
and I don't think that was happening. As a dart player, you've got to look at your attack angle and just look at how your darts are sitting
123.
as you look at them in the board. And Lee's darts actually do a bit of a pirouette in the air. But every now and again, that second dart there wavered.
100.
It kicked left. I'm pretty sure it didn't used to do that. It might be because of the weight of the flight carrying it and doing it that way.
44.
Might have to go through a bit of exploration over the next few weeks to make sure he knows exactly what to use moving forward.
60.
As for these flights that Charlie's using, when I first saw them on Thursday night, I thought they're very eye-catching, but they almost remind me of the old chip paper that you used to get from the fish and chip shop.
60.
You're probably too young for that, Henry, but they used to wrap your fish and chips in old newspaper, and it used to look like these flights.
Well, they say yesterday's news is today's chip batter.
58.
Yesterday's news is today's chip paper.
It's been a long day.
60. Charlie, you require 144.
And one of the 144s is to save the match. The other one is to win it.
58. Lee, you require 144.
To end with a win. The 144 is going to go for Coxie, and so
44.
Charlie looking
Charlie
at
require
86.
86.
Double 7.
70.
And this might be the end.
Lee, you require 100.
Game number 23 of the week.
Double top for Lee Cox.
Game
To end
shot
with
and the
success and
match.
to end with a
Lee
win.
Cox.
Charlie Large has won the group, but Lee Cox has got a win to end his Super Series campaign. He's not got what he wanted. It's another campaign here which ends on a Friday. Disappointment, you can see it. He tries to smile through it. He's a good guy, is Lee, but he hasn't quite got his rewards. For Charlie, well, he is the group winner. McDonagh and Sneyd is live and next. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where I find myself downstairs with Charlie Large, the winner of Group B. Charlie, many congratulations. You must be really pleased with the way you played over the last couple of days.
Yeah, I think I played a right in patches, a couple really good games, I think, against Gary in the first game today, but like I just said, sure, I put my points 4-5 mil longer, and the scoring's going well. When I hit the first start, it looks like I can't miss, so yeah, went all right.
Interesting you mentioned that, because we've seen players in the past, Conan Whitehead being one that have attributed longer points to their heavier score, and you're somebody that we know is a very consistent player. Has it just brought you that extra couple of percent that perhaps you needed in your game?
Yeah, like between hitting 100 and 140, it's a big difference, just change the leg around, but I think my doubles were not too bad as well.
Would you say this week you've become more of an overall package in terms of, you've mentioned your scoring, but also some of your finishing at times, 5-ton plus checkouts in this group?
Yeah, like I say, sometimes doubles is what let me down. I know I can score as well, but sometimes doubles let me down too. But I think I've done enough.
Last minute call up for yourself. You only got the call on Sunday evening when Conan got bumped up to Group A. There wasn't much preparation time, but in some respect, did that actually help you?
Yeah, well, like I say, sometimes normally when you find out who's in the group, you start overthinking, am I going to lose with him or whatever. But I was just playing a PlayStation with my uncle. I got a message come through saying, and I said, yeah, I'll play, no problem.
So then, tomorrow night, your second finals night here at the Super Series. It's going to be a bit busy in there.
Wow, yeah, I've got a fair few coming.
Last time you did get to the Saturday, you got to the semi-finals. Is it a case of perhaps going a couple of steps further? And do you feel like because it's a late call, like you've kind of got a little bit of a free hit at this?
Yeah, but now I'm there, I want to win it, obviously, but I know what I've done wrong last time. I took the game. My head went in it probably the last time, but it'll be different tomorrow night.
Charlie, well done. Many congratulations on winning the group. We're going to head up to the commentary box now for our final match of the night. It sees Carl Sneyd in action up against Ronan McDonagh. Paul Nicholson is up there and on hand to bring you live match commentary.
Many thanks, Henry. Always great to hear from young Charlie, who is now looking forward to getting back on the hockey in somewhere around about 19 hours' time. So a bit of a tight turnaround from Group B to Saturday night finals. But week 3 will have both of these guys as well, including that young man from just north of Portsmouth. He will win the group. And now the winner of this game will get second. And the benefit of that is that if you do get second, you will not be in the same group as Charlie come Saturday night.
Game on.
Think of that what you will. One more game before we get excited for week 3 finals. These guys who have qualified deserve a lot of credit. Arguably, the two people with the most experience haven't qualified.
100.
With Gary Morson, yes, on debut, but he's been playing darts at high levels for 30 years. So they have dispatched
43.
2 experienced campaigners. And it does feel like Series 10
57.
here at the start of 2025 is all about people doing things they've never done before. First maximum of this game goes to Sneyd. He feels the need.
60.
Been a decent amount of 180s tonight. Most in a game in this group came from Charlie Large against Gary Morson, where he got 4. I wonder if that can be topped in this game.
$60. Carly required 40.
For the opening break. Double 10 again. Spent a lot of time on double 10 tonight, meaning his tops has not been on point.
95. Carly required 10.
He has not been put under pressure.
Game shot on the first
And
leg.
he does get that opening break in
Sneyd.
16 darts.
Second leg, it's Cole to throw first. Game on.
So let's go through the names that we have for Saturday night. Whitehead, lots of experience.
57.
Spivey, second Saturday night. Alexander Mashek, debutant, just like Ronan
60.
McDonagh. So we are going to have a couple of debutants for Saturdays come around 19 hours
82.
time. But most of them have been there before.
60.
But as you mentioned, only Conan has crossed the finishing line in the past. Course Series 1 champion in this building, and he has promised us that he will be Co 2.0 at some point. He just doesn't know when.
Oh, that's got a ring to it. Co 2.0. That sounds like a chant.
140.
I wonder if he wins it again, whether Welling United will let him parade the trophy on the pitch. It's the only trophy they'll probably see this season.
140.
Don't say that to him.
I was going to say, I shouldn't mess with Conan, should I?
No, you shouldn't. I think the chant should be, let's go Co 2.0. That could catch on.
55.
Imagine 85 to 100 people shouting that on a Saturday night.
Well, Sneyd looking at 81 to double his advantage. For Ronan, maybe the fact that he's played first and last, he's just ran out a little bit of steam. He's done the job he needed to do.
75.
But Sneyd missing opportunities. 1 from 6 on the doubles. He's toyed around at points as the bomber. And now there's pressure applied. And this is awkward.
Oh, you require 6.
He's not the first dart player to be called Bomber.
Game shot on the second leg.
And he's not the first dart player on a Saturday morning to take a 2-0 lead.
Third leg, it's Ronan to throw first. Game on.
Steve Brown, JDC founder. He's called Bomber.
57.
One of the busiest men in darts. The only person that flies to China to await his fate to see whether he gets a tour card or not.
Yeah, that was a risk.
100.
Well, it wasn't a risk. He didn't have a choice.
Well, you've always got a choice.
57. $123.
I'm not even sure why Steve was actually called Bomber. It might have had something to do with how Wiedersehen pet.
Wasn't it something to do with the
57.
fact that he was wasn't he a boxer when he was younger, and that was where the nickname came from?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, last time I saw Steve was back in July at
41.
an exhibition I was working on down in Bristol way, down in Frome, and he was showing me the extremities of his diary, and it was
100.
frivolous to say the least.
Well, if he's showing you the extremities of his diary, he needs to get a bigger diary.
125.
Oh, great darts from Ronan.
180.
Don't forget about
Oh,
him.
you're 112.
Just saying to Carl, this isn't all one-way traffic. He's got traffic in the way of this. Cannot find. Stoops low. McDonagh back for 50.
56. Ronan, you require 50.
Going to be tops. Is it going to be good?
10. Cole, you require 56.
He has run out of steam. He did so against Charlie Large in Game 7 as well. I think his race is run.
Game shot on the third leg. Cole Sneyd.
Is he one of those players that we're about to
Well, there
learn
gets
is one
gold
that
to
has
throw
to play off
first.
adrenaline? Because the drop-off has been ever since he did what he needed to do to qualify.
Absolutely. We look at things like that in a scientific way. We know how humans feel under pressure and how people do perform when the adrenaline pumps. And obviously, at the start of the group, in the start of the night, he was dependable, averaging around 90 for the group.
140.
And since then, when the job was completed, he's lost a bit of pep.
140.
And if anything, Sneyd is having his way with Ronan right now.
Well, Ronan isn't going to reign, is he, in this particular match? Sneyd pretty much home and hose, you feel, 6-1, 8-1 to complete a 4-0 win in about, what, 8 minutes?
100.
You can accomplish a lot in 8 minutes at the MODUS Super Series.
60. Cole, you require 81.
Might even do in less than 8. This has been a good performance. Maybe even the best of the group. He's trying to better his own record.
56.
Well, don't tell Carl
Ready to
Sneyd
require
this isn't a dead
161.
rubber, and don't tell him that this game is over yet, because McDonagh is going to take out the 161. Sneyd will return for 25 to get the job done. It's been a great display to end his
99.
campaign.
Oh,
It's not going to be enough to see him
25.
top the group, but 25 for the match, 5 for double 10. No surprises there. And no missing there.
Game shot
Carl
and the
Sneyd
match.
is a 4-0
Carl
winner over
Sneyd.
Ronan McDonagh in the final game of Group B. The Bomber living up to his qualities that he possessed on the Challenge Tour a couple of weeks ago, and a lovely embrace from the pair. This has been a group that's been played in great spirit from the first start until the very last, which was thrown by Carl Sneyd. 4-0 winner, averaging 95.5, 4 from 10 when it came to the doubles. Ronan, well, he ran out of steam, didn't he, in the last couple of matches? As soon as he qualified, that intensity dropped off and his performances dropped off as a result. So, we know the 3 players now that are going to qualify through to tomorrow night's final from Group B. It is Ronan McDonagh, Carl Sneyd and Charlie Large who top the group. Full analysis with the asset Paul Nicholson is coming up in a few moments' time.
To happen, he'd have to hit the 81, but how much pressure? Oh, we could have back-to-back 11 darters, Paul.
We could.
Paul,
130.
Ask and ye shall receive.
You require 81.
Has to hit this by the looks of it. Double 12.
57.
Those 2 misses,
Darius require
added to the
55.
approach play of Labanauskas, mean that we could get our first hold of throw in the final. And that's what we
Game
get.
shot on the 5th leg.
A
Darius
crushing 14-dart
Labanauskas.
hold from Labanauskas.
6th leg, it's Tom to throw first.
Maybe the 2
Game
biggest darts of this match were the darts at double 12 that missed.
special final. Fitting
140.
for a very special week. And it's far from over.
I'm only going to say this once. A matter of just a few weeks back.
140.
Dutch dart player at the Grand Slam averaged record numbers and didn't win a match. In the semis and final tonight, Tom Sykes
100.
is averaging over 106.
Combined.
And he could lose this tournament.
Old vessel lineman. That was
36.
as unlucky as that turn there.
That's not what he wanted.
Oh, it's given an outside chance. I think it's minimum ton. 140 would, or 137, a 2 treble visit was just what he wanted. Well, he wanted a 180, but after dart 1, it's got to come down surely.
60.
Like that.
I don't mind it.
2 trebles in the same spot. Well, a 180 here would leave double 4, and he loves it.
140.
Advantage Labanauskas. Firmly. Because championship darts,
40.
they are sitting in his left hand right now.
Darius require
And with his right hand,
48.
he could now become the Series 9 champion.
Game
Darius Labanauskas!
Darius's darting dream has come true. He's called Lucky D, but there was nothing lucky.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Friday night's action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth has come to a close. Well, it was fairly routine, wasn't it, for the top three? They made it through considerable ease. In fact, it was done by the end of Game 4, and Ronan McDonagh got the better of Lee Cox by 4 legs to 1. We heard from Charlie Large after Game 9. He's won Group B. He's done that via legs difference. We can have a look at that now. 2 legs he's won that by on that particular bracket from Carl Sneyd in second place. Ronan McDonagh, the other player, to make it through. Carl won that last match before the break against Ronan, and he joins myself and Paul Nicholson in the studio now. Carl, many congratulations. This week has felt a little bit different here at the Super Series for you because of what you did at the Challenge Tour, because of the good Q School. We put a bit more expectation on your shoulders. Did you feel a little bit more expectation on your shoulders?
Not really, no. I've not been one for... To me, it's just a game of darts at the end of the day. Just come here, enjoy it. Like I said to you yesterday, just learn from where you feel, where you've gone wrong. And heard a couple of comments yesterday. I've took them on board and tried to take them into today. And that's all I've got to do, just push forward.
In terms of the way you've played over the last couple of days, how would you assess it overall?
Up and down. There's a bit of fluency. When I'm throwing quite fluent, I'm confident, but when it's not going, you sometimes if you don't find a treble, you're trying to push it too much, and it hurts sometimes. And you I don't know. It's a battle sometimes, I suppose, but I don't know. I just got over the line, I suppose, at the end of the day.
Does it help knowing that, you probably don't know this, but you've had 2 of the 3 best performances of the entire group, and one of them was that last match there. So when the pressure is lifted a little bit, we're getting more glimpses now of the kind of game that's in the locker.
Yeah, I didn't realise that whatsoever, to be honest. But I don't know. Do you take it as... I don't know. It's a tough one. I just go up and just have a game of darts, to be honest. That's all it is. I don't know. I don't play under any nerves. Sometimes you get nerves, but no, I just enjoy myself.
You were saying just off camera to us that you know quite a few really good dart players from your neck of the woods, one of them being Series 6 champion Scott Taylor. Scott's quite uncomplicated, and I'm getting that same vibe from you, that you just want to go and throw at the board, and you've got something in common with Scott. You throw it pretty hard, and it's almost like you're throwing through the board. Is that something that is part of your technique?
Yeah, I mean, for the last 6 months, actually, I've actually been practicing. I mean, I've never practiced. I've just gone home and just done the fatherly things to put the kids to bed. But I've actually took a couple of hours out of night and had a practice. It's helping the way you release your darts. I mean, sometimes I'm snatching, but yeah, I don't know. The practice is helping me, to be honest, and we just keep on going.
Let's go back to tonight. We just saw on the monitor there you get the better of Lee Cox 4-3. That was you could tell at the end that was a really nervy game. Did that then for you, in terms of the whole evening, just set the tone, just give you that little bit of breathing space? Because if you lost that, then it could have been a long night ahead of you.
Yeah, to be honest, I did have a little look of the table, and I mean, I'm not one of them. And to beat Lee puts you, I think that put me 6 points clear. So there was a bit of pressure on me, and I'm not one of them for looking at it. So it kind of dwelt on me. So I thought, just get out, have a game of darts, and that's what happened. It's just simple as that.
Tell us what it was like to have Gary in the practice room, because Gary Morson has been around for a very long time, played in many different countries, many different systems. This was his debut here. But what kind of an experience was it having an international player like Gary Morson in there with you the last couple of days?
Honest to God, there was a game on this afternoon, tonight, and there was only me and him in the players' lounge, and I was asking him questions, and I could have sat there for the next 3 hours. He's just unbelievable. He was just such a nice bloke, and if you wanted to know anything, tips, or he'd just tell you, not a problem. And it was nice. He's top lad. Really appreciated it.
Is this where you're at? Okay, you've had a lot of success recently, but is it easy for, I suppose, people like us to forget you're still a player that's developing your game, trying to get better time on time? So actually, these experiences are good for you to continue that progress along the line.
Yeah, it's hard. But, I think coming here is good to play against the top players all the time, and you're playing in match practice and all. But I do practice quite a bit, not as much as I'd like to do, obviously with work and stuff like that. But I don't know. Going forward now, it's massive this next couple of weeks, and I've got to just get my head on it, I suppose, and just keep practicing. It's hard, but you just got to keep practicing.
What is it about Monday? I mean, we're obviously skipping a step here because we know that Saturday night could be an incredibly big thing for you. But Monday, you're playing on the Pro Tour for the first time. Tell us honestly, if you can, what are you looking forward to most about that?
I don't know. I mean, the truth is, I've not been to many live occasions professionally. I mean, I've obviously been to Blackpool, and you've done the odd one, but seeing a couple of the big boys and then seeing how I actually feel in myself. I mean, you could be like gobsmacked and look at all these and freeze like. But nah, I don't think I'm like that. I mean, I'm excited to see a lot of the boys. I mean, I've always been a James Wade fan, obviously, because I'm left-handed, but it'd be just nice to see him and just say hiya. That's, I mean, it's just a dream. It is. Looking forward to it.
Does this feel like a massive step down the track for yourself? And maybe something like this is a little bit further ahead of perhaps the curve that you perhaps expected?
Yeah, it actually is. I mean, this time last year, I went to Q school. It was a bit disappointing last year. And coming off a couple of MODUS qualifications, a bit disappointing. But when I knuckled down and got the practice in, you can see it actually paying off. I mean, practice does actually pay off, and you can see a little bit of difference in me. But it's just getting the match practice in me to push forward in that. That's all it is.
We'll have another chat with you in just a second, Carl, but me and Paul have got other work to do in terms of rounding up what else has happened tonight. First word's got to be on Charlie Large. He was the player that won the group. Interesting, actually, he revealed in that interview that he's playing with longer points now, and it showed with some of the scoring power that he possessed in that Group B. Yeah,
definitely. The only person to get 4 maximums in a match tonight, and he's absolutely right. When he gets that first dart right, and he is thrusting that dart with such a vicious nature, he's almost saying to the treble 20, I refuse not to hit you. So he's going to be very dangerous come Saturday night. But if those doubles click as well, we could have some great battles on our hands.
And then Ronan McDonagh, okay, when he went through some of the performances, maybe deviated a little bit, but you can't take anything away from the way he played in terms of how he qualified.
Not at all. 2 groups played. He was on the same points as the top 2 in Group A, and he was there or thereabouts in this group as well. Yes, he did fall away, like you mentioned, but the thing is, on debut, making Saturday is not something that's very easy. Carl knows that. So, as far as he's concerned, he's gone up in my estimation because I wasn't expecting a great deal come Monday morning.
So, this is the story of the week here at the Live Lounge. Conan Whitehead dramatically won Group A on Wednesday afternoon. Sam Spivey and Sasha Mashek won Group C on Friday afternoon. It is Friday afternoon. She's gone into Saturday morning. Charlie Large, Carl Sneyd and Ronan McDonagh making their way through Group B. These are how the groups break down for tomorrow's action. Conan, Carl and Sasha in Group 1. Charlie, Sam and Ronan will be in Group 2. The action gets underway at 7:30 tomorrow evening. Final word, Carl, goes to you. Now, I'm going to ask the same question, but ask it in 2 ways. Before you went to Q School, what were your goals and expectations for 2025?
Better myself from the year before, because the year before was totally disappointing. My attitude, to be honest, wasn't the best because you're just coming home from work. I was just sitting down with, watching a film. Darts weren't even on my mind. But you can, I think it was the invite. I got an invite here, and it was my first invite, and you think you just don't want to let. You just don't want to let them down. Just go in there, and have a good do. And I have knuckled down, I'll be honest with you. But coming into Q-Scott, I did do all right. And then the challenge show was just an absolute, it was just surreal. Honest to God, I can't believe it. Just everything went my way, through well. And it was just so laid back, which I like. So I don't know, it's just took off, I'll be honest with you. I've never known anything like it. It's unbelievable.
I was going to ask you another question, but we've run out of time. Carl, many thanks for coming up. Many congratulations on the way you played. Paul, thank you for your company. See you tomorrow night. Right, that is it from us here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Coming up after the break, well, Paul Nicholls is not getting paid overtime, but he's having a chat with Richie Burnett in the latest edition of the Tuxton Talk. That was recorded a few weeks ago, and that's coming up next here on Pluto TV. We're back with more live darts tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. We get underway for finals night to see who is going to join Alex Small and Jensen Walker into Champions Week. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 from all of us here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.
What a finish. What a man. The drum roll finishes and the target is...